believe that. The Bucks arena, the arena itself, is only one small part of the picture. Now, I know you might disagree with me, but I do think it is important for Milwaukee, for the region and the state, to keep NBA basketball. And I also do I'm a do the math guy, and I do think, it is cheaper to keep them. I mean, I do think that there is a net gain. But the real success of this, it's not going to be measured on keeping the Bucks, in my opinion. That's not a factor. The real success or failure of this is going to depend on the other element. That other element being the development of an entertainment district to the north of where this facility is. Because the truth of the matter is, you got the income tax from the Bucks players and stuff, but if we're really talking about this as being a job generator, you're going to need a couple thousand people to build the arena, and that's good. I'm not poo-pooing it. And then you're going to need X number of employees, most of whom are probably going to be part-time, to work at the new facility. I'm not poo-pooing that, but I mean, if you're really talking about the success or failure of this, to me, it's going to be whether or not there is a spillover. Will this new arena really help to generate the entertainment district that they are talking about, like, exists in a couple other cities? Because that's where the jobs are going to be. That's where the money is going to be. It's going to be if you have bars and restaurants and retail and other forms of commercial development and residential that is now going to spring up in the shadow of the downtown arena. Now, here's the reality. The Bradley Center, in my opinion, has generated very little spillover. Now, when the Bucks are playing or Marquette's in town, I know some of the businesses on 3rd Street do some business, and I'm not downplaying that either. But I don't think you can seriously argue that the Bradley Center has been a huge generator of economic development for that area. It's better that it's there. It's better that the team's there than not. But I haven't seen all sorts of economic development, popping up as a result of the facility. Will the new facility, assuming it is built, and it will be, is this going to be different? Are we going to see this entertainment district? Is this really going to happen? Or is this just going to be kind of a pie-in-the-sky promise, and 5-10 years from now, is the Park East, that entire area, is it still essentially going to be the same moonscape that it is now? Because to me, that's going to be the ultimate way that we did to judge whether or not this project was worth it, whether or not it was a success, and that is it going to help develop that entire area?
There's no better green and gold insider than the man who wore the green and gold himself, Mark Tauscher.
Your back's against the wall and you had a tough couple weeks. That focus and everything just is always kind of heightened. Sometimes, especially when you haven't been through and handled a ton of success, it can be a little bit of a struggle.
Mark Tauscher is our green and gold insider every Wednesday at 4:15 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News, presented by your Wisconsin Chevy dealers.
Now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Chill in the air or just flat out cold? This time of year we expect the weather to get cold. We know it's coming. But is your home ready? Does the cold air show you what kind of home you really have? Windows that leak air, drafty doors, or just a cold house in general? All of these problems lead to an inefficient home, high energy bills, and an uncomfortable, unhappy homeowner. There can be many temporary solutions, such as wrestling with plastic wrap on the windows, makeshift seals like a towel at the bottom of the doors, or just throwing more blankets on yourself to the point you can't move. Fighting a chilly house can be frustrating. There are real solutions, long-term solutions to stop drafts and air leaks. Solutions that maximize energy efficiency, reduce energy costs, and provide a comfort-controlled environment where you, the homeowner, can enjoy the warmth of hanging out at your home once again. Siding Unlimited provides these solutions. Our team can come out and deliver a free estimate to get the project started. We can discuss what makes the most sense for you to regain control of your home. New windows, entry doors, and siding can be the ultimate knockout blow to Mother Nature wreaking havoc in your home. We know this time of the year comes every 12 months. It's time we start preparing, so moving forward, you'll be in total control.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for replacement windows, roofing, decks, and, of course, siding. They are the best, as acknowledged by the many rewards their suppliers have conferred upon them. Now, take the next step. Check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more.
Senator Ron Johnson here. Congratulations to Jeff Wagner for 25 years at WTMJ Radio, informing the public and telling the truth.
Are we going to really see an economic renaissance? Is this idea that you're going to have this entire business development and this entertainment district spring up in the shadow of the arena, is that going to happen, or is this just kind of pie in the sky? Let's start with Darren on the east side. Darren, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. Great topic. It's really exciting what happened in the Senate yesterday. I do believe there's a vision. I believe there's a cumulative effect of not only the entertainment district, but all of these other large projects that are going on downtown, the Couture, the potential for Johnson Controls, and believe it or not, the trolley. I mean, I know everyone's like, that trolley doesn't make sense.
I'm not with you on that one. You had me up until there, but I'm not with you on the trolley. But okay.
I think the problem with Milwaukee is we're always 3 steps behind all the other cities in the Midwest. I mean, if we compare ourselves to the Minneapolis, St. Paul, it's just like we tend to go on the cheap side on stuff, and it just isn't quite world class. I'm hoping that this is a chance for Milwaukee to advance.
Well, and don't get me wrong, Darren. I'm with you entirely. I mean, because to me, this is going to be the judge. This is going to be the determiner of whether this project is successful or not, and that is the idea that it's not just an arena. The arena is the first step in what is going to be this large development that is going to attract people to the moonscape of the Park East. And I think I think that's how you have to ultimately, as we look back 10 years from now, that's going to be how you judge the success of this. Is it still a moonscape, or do you now have this thriving entertainment district which has brought people into the area, not simply cannibalized the existing businesses that are already on 3rd Street? And I'm hoping it does. I mean, I look at these plans, and it seems to me that this is a great idea. Now, of course, I've been the one for the last 15 years looking at that whole area to the Park East saying, wait, when John Norquist, before he slinked out of town, John Norquist was saying, hey, we tear down that Park East freeway, we clear up this space, it's going to be, it's going to be this heaven. There's going to be all this business development, all this stuff, and it's nothing. I'm hoping that you're right. Josh on the south side. Josh, good afternoon. Josh. I'm sorry, Josh, your phone. Go ahead. Okay, we got you.
I think it might be a terrible. I'm not looking. I hope it all works out, but honestly, the key is to keep the Bucks here, because even if there's so-called development around the facility doesn't work as well, development will happen. I think the Bradley Center was built wasn't conducive to development. There's nothing new right around it because it was how it was constructed. It took a while for 3rd Street to develop.
What do you think is going to be different about this facility that's going to lead to that we didn't see with the Bradley Center?
If you see the design, there's more pedestrian walkways and things to do year-round. It's going to be kind of a center and an area to hang out. Other places I've been the Staples Center, and the design is really great. It's just, you can do things. You can walk around. There's malls. And there really is nothing like that downtown, to be honest with you. It's not like a Grand Avenue. And honestly, nothing else is going there. So even if it doesn't live up to expectations, we keep the Bucks, and there's development in another area of the city. I think development will grow around it. Development's happening east of the river.
Yeah, well, but again, I guess I see part of the thing. I mean, the big selling point of this facility has been, and I think, I think the marketing has been masterful of this. And I don't say that in a critical way at all. It's been, don't think of this just as an arena. Think of this as the first step in what is going to be this huge entertainment complex. And I hope that works. And I'm not poo-pooing it, although the Bradley Center, I don't think you can say has done that. But maybe it's a design issue. maybe you have some people that have some money now that are going to make those types of investments. And I do think, you're right. There's stuff happening. You're starting to see more development up by Pabst. You're starting to see more development to the north up by Schlitz. And you'd love to see this become this area where, people are, in fact, attracted to. The Bradley Center wasn't. Maybe this can, in fact, be different. Let's talk to Chris in Madison. Chris, you're on 620 WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Okay, is this going to be a magnet for people? Is this going to motivate you to come to games from Madison and hang out in Milwaukee?
Yes,
good.
I think so. And I'll say this: I've kind of thought the whole trolley thing is a joke, but if they can tie it in as one big master thing, and Milwaukee seems like it's at a pivotal point. It's like if the Bucks leave, I think Milwaukee's teetering on the brink of disaster, but it has the opportunity to really turn around and become a destination. And there are a lot of Bucks fans around the state, and if there were more to do at these games, like, it's kind of crummy parking lots and stuff, if you could come to something nice and have some amenities close by, we've got once a year a group of guys, we come down 20 in a bus.
Yeah. Maybe you come down 3 or 4. Yeah. See, now that is part of the other challenge, because they are. And I'm going to be curious as to how this all plays out, because during the games themselves, one of the things that they want in the new facility is they want more amenities. They don't want just more good seats. They want more specialty stuff. They want more restaurants. They want things to attract people. And that's fine. I understand it. But at the same time, that also competes with an entertainment district around there. So I guess that's part of the question. Are people going to come in and they're going to say, hey, there's some really cool, food stands and places to eat in the facility, so we're not going to go patronize, Hondo and Jeff's bar here or whatever. I hope this works. I think it's got the potential to work. One of the reasons I was arguing in favor of this and believe it's important is because if we don't do this, there's guaranteed failure. If the Bucks were to leave, that you got this decrepit, aging Bradley Center, and you've got very little going on in that, that kills any idea of economic development. I don't know that this guarantees it, but I sure hope so. Jeff Wagner, 620 WTMJ.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 1. Creative Planning is a wealth management firm that believes in a total approach to building wealth that includes taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other personalized elements. This approach allows you to receive advice that is aligned with your unique goals and always in your best interests. Why not give your wealth a second look? Visit creativeplanning.com.
What's going on in the commercial insurance market these days? Talking with Jeff Salazinski, VP of Insurance Operations at R&R Insurance.
Thank you, Vince. Today, the commercial insurance market is being defined by 3 things. Catastrophic storms are destroying the capital of many insurance companies. Multiple years of inflation are driving claim costs up significantly. And the cost of reinsurance is a huge financial challenge to many insurance companies. With rising premiums and strict underwriting, your insurance program must be part of a more strategic discussion. Does your agent have a plan to deal with these strict underwriting demands that are now in place? Has your agent laid out a plan to mitigate these premium increases?
So, Jeff, what's the solution?
Sharing market insights and their related impact while laying out strategic options for your business are what R&R Insurance does best. We've been doing this for 48 years. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
So I came to Advent because I was experiencing recurrent sinus infections. As a new mom, it was really kind of difficult.
Many of our patients complain of sinus infections. The headaches, fatigue, and nasal stuffiness have a profound effect on their lives.
I just felt like your sickness starts affecting your energy level and, the things that you really enjoy doing. That really was a breaking point for me.
So Molly came to Advent. Abnormally tight sinuses and swollen turbinates led to simple breathing triangle solutions that ended up taking about 20 minutes in office. And very soon thereafter, she was breathing freely.
I'm just in awe at the amount of air that that I'm able to breathe in and out each night. And I haven't had a sinus infection since the procedure.
I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. When you breathe well, you do live better.
Results may vary.
Here's the story I want to talk to you about starting off with. It comes from Maryland, but it doesn't matter. This could happen anywhere. The guy is a veteran, an Army veteran, 7 years in the Army, did a stint in Afghanistan, and his name is Joe Morisi. And he works for CVS, the pharmacy chain, big pharmacy chain. We've got CVS's around here. And he's into management at CVS. As a matter of fact, what they've done is CVS had hired him to manage this store in the Maryland area, and they had actually helped him relocate. So he's come here to be the manager at this particular CVS store. Well, here's the story. What happens is, while he's in the store, two men come into the store and they run to the pharmacy area. They jump over the counter and tell the pharmacist to open the safe. Right? So that's the instructions. The veteran sees this going on. He's the manager. He's another portion of the store, but he picks up that there's this robbery that's going in place. He said, my main concern was that just, get everyone, make sure they're safe in the building. So I react out of instinct. So here's what he says he does. He says, okay, once he sees this going on, he runs to the cashier and he tells the cashier to call 911 because the store was being robbed. Okay, then he sees these two guys who have now gotten into the safe, and they've taken a whole bunch of prescription drugs, and they're starting to head out the door. He says one of the two is carrying a screwdriver. As they come towards him in the aisle, he says that one of them tries to hit him, punches at him, but he blocks it. What he had done before this is he had apparently shepherded a couple of the customers out of the store, and then he had locked the door. So the thieves aren't going to be able to get out. So then he's coming the other way down the aisle. They're trying to get out. The doors are locked. He's moved the customers out, and one of the guys takes a swing at him. Well, he's an Army veteran of Afghanistan. He blocks it. And then there is a struggle. One of the two says that we've got a gun, shoot him. Well, he says, I don't think you've got a gun. And it turns out, like I say, to be a screwdriver. So he disarms one of the bad guys. So there's this ongoing struggle. Ultimately, the two bad guys are able to get away. They're able to force the door open and run away. Right? Well, all right, a couple minutes later, the police arrive, and the guy that's the head manager for the store arrives, or the regional manager or whatever. And, they say, what happened? And he says, well, this is it. I saw the store was being robbed. I got the customers out. I had I had the woman behind the counter, the cashier, called 911. I locked the door, and I went to catch these guys so they weren't getting out with prescription drugs. At which point in time, his boss says, well, we appreciate what you did, but you're getting fired. We got to fire you. And he says, what do you mean you got to fire me? He says, well, no, you were wrong to confront these people. And he says, well, wait. I got everybody out of the store, or at least I got the customers out of the store. The employees weren't in danger. It was just me and these two people who were stealing prescription drugs. And yeah, I tried to stop them. Manager, the owner, the guy's boss says, sorry, you're gone. Can't have you doing this. All right. Now I know the policy of the store is not to endanger the customers. But at the same time, here you have these two folks, these two robbers, stealing prescription drugs. The manager has 911 called, confronts the robbers after getting customers out, and tries to stop them. Does he deserve to be fired? Or
heart disease won't stop us. Diabetes won't slow us down. Allergies, high blood pressure, shoulder pain, cancer. Nothing will keep us from pushing Wisconsin ahead. Because with the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, forward progress is what we stand for. That means always pushing and always innovating. With new technologies and breakthrough treatments that make life better, whether we're sick or well. It means providing more convenience and more ways to receive medical excellence for all your health needs, for big and small. It means being there for you, our family, caring for yours. So let's keep raising the bar. Let's keep testing the limits of what medicine can do. Let's push ahead and make life here as great as it can be. Visit Freighter.com to find out how.
Buying a diamond here just got a lot easier and a lot less expensive. Just in time for the holidays, Diamonds Direct has arrived. Now open on Mayfair Road in front of Mayfair Mall. This is the game-changing concept that's sweeping across America with the largest selection of rare, precious diamonds, up to 30 times ordinary jewelry stores, from 1 carat to 20 carat diamonds, not on a computer screen, but actually in stock every day. Started by former diamond wholesalers, Diamonds Direct has diamond cutters around the world and tremendous buying power, delivering exceptional value in a world-class, luxurious new showroom. This is no ordinary jewelry store. It's a diamond powerhouse, a true direct diamond importer that will forever change how people in Milwaukee buy diamonds and fine jewelry. We've needed a place like this for years. Now it's here. The all-new Diamonds Direct. Unmatched selection, uncompromising quality, and unbeatable value. Come celebrate with special savings now. The all-new Diamonds Direct on Mayfair Road in front of Mayfair Mall. Get details and learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
Should they give him a medal?
Hey, Jeff, former producer Sam here. Just wanted to congratulate you on 25 years here at WTMJ, and thank you for being so open and kind and showing me the ropes around here for about 4 months. Short but sweet. So, yeah, go live it up in Florida with Fran, and you will be missed. Thanks so much.
It's 12:19. Jeff Wagner, 620 WTMJ. All right, the CVS statement about this says, in the unfortunate event of a robbery at one of our stores, the safety and well-being of our customers and employees is always our highest priority. We do not comment on specific security policies as we do not want to undermine them, and due to our employment privacy policies, we are unable to comment on Mr. Morrissey. Well, Mr. Morrissey is commenting. He says, hey, I got people out of the store. We called 911, and I saw 2 of these punks trying to get out the door with a bunch of prescription drugs, and I decided I was not going to just stand passively by and let them leave. One of them took a punch at me, and we struggled back. I was able to stop them from getting out of the door with most of the stolen pills. I was able to disarm them. I think I did the right thing. CVS has fired him. Let's start with Mike in Milwaukee. Mike, you're first. Good afternoon.
This upsets me very greatly. This guy should be commended for his bravery. He shouldn't have been fired. And I'd love to know what store it is so I can call and try to get this guy his job back. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is a store out of Beltsville, Maryland. So, but I mean, it could have, but it's their policy. I mean, he made, and I guess I understand. I mean, they think that, well, we don't want, the worst thing would have happened is we don't want to have somebody like shooting up a store and killing a bunch of customers. So here we just want to, go ahead, let them take the stuff. Well, in this case, the manager, I think, did everything he could to make sure that wasn't going to happen. They called 911, they got the customers out of the store, and then he decided he just wasn't going to let these punks, run away with the prescription narcotics. And you get fired for that?
That's ridiculous. The guy is a hero, and he should get his job back, and he should be commended for what he did.
Thanks for the call. I understand that you've got these policies, and I'm sure that the policies are we would rather allow a bunch of pillheads to come in and rob us and then go out on the streets than risk, one of our customers getting hurt. But in this particular case, I think it was a measured sort of decision. There was no question that there was no customers that were in danger. The guy, who's a 7-year Army veteran, served in Afghanistan, makes the evaluation that they don't have a gun, they've got a screwdriver, and I can take these 2. And after making sure that the police have been notified and that the customers are all safe and that there's no employees in danger, he decides he's going to try to detain them. And you lose your job for that? Let's talk to Rick in Oshkosh. Rick, good afternoon.
Good morning. I like your program.
Thank you, sir.
I'm a veteran, and I know that veterans are trained, whether you're Navy, military, whatever the military, Navy, Marines, or whichever branch you're serving for, you're trained. And once you've been there, that what has to be done in this case is you fire the manager, his boss, and this guy, you bring him in and you put him in his place. Now, this guy will be the head of, or raise him up in management even further. Take him away from that scenario altogether now, and increase his wages, double his wages, triple his wages.
And let him give instructions. Well, thanks for the call, Ray. I mean, look here. If if what he did is apparently a violation of policy, the CVS policy is, here, come rob us, take the prescription drugs, run out, we'll let you go. All right, I appreciate that, and maybe that's a policy that the lawyers have developed, and they think it's best in the overall course of liability because they're afraid of one of the robbers hurting a customer and then buying a big lawsuit. Okay, so I understand all that. But at the same time, that's not what happened here. If the manager was out of policy for attempting to, what I think most of us would agree was do the right thing and try to, catch the robbers before they get out on the street with the prescription narcotics. Okay, if he was wrong in confronting them, all right, isn't this one where you take him aside and say, we're sorry, we understand that you were well-intentioned, you had 911 called, that's great, you got the customers to safety, that's great, but, our policy is we want you to stand by and watch this theft go down. You didn't do that. Do you really need to fire him for that? Can't you just say, okay, next time there's one of these robberies, we'd like to ask you to respond in a different way. Don't confront the attackers, even though, you were able in this particular case to take on 2 of them, to disarm them, and ultimately to stop the prescription drugs from being stolen. All right, just don't do it again. Do you need to fire him for this? Let's talk to Janet in Brookfield. Janet, good afternoon.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Janet.
This happened to me once. I was a branch manager, and we were in the middle of a robbery, and one of my employees, after the robber left the bank, ran out of the bank and chased the robber. Mm-hmm. Eventually, the police did catch the robber, but I had a stern talk with him, and then I was on the hot seat for not firing him on the spot. Mm-hmm. But he also was a guy that wanted to be a cop and was in training, so that's the only reason I cut him slack. But the training that they give him is you let the robber go. The police take care of it. And you are not the police. You are a bank employee.
Right.
So, but I was on the hot seat for not firing him on the spot. But due to his circumstances, and he was in training, I realized that, he had that instinct. That's why he was going to be a cop. So.
Right. And Jen, I guess I think that's the right way to handle it. Like I just said, if you want to, you bring the guy aside and say, all right, we recognize that you might disagree with this policy. Most people that hear it probably disagree with this policy, and you are out of policy. Don't let it happen again. I guess that's how I would handle it. Just don't let it happen again, as opposed to saying, we're automatically going to fire you. Could this have broken really bad? Yeah, but it ended up not. And I guess I would say keep your job and thanks for trying, but just let them take the dope next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Would the bank you were working at, was it an armed robbery? They come with guns and stuff?
Yeah, it was a hostile one. So yeah.
You still have? It had to be a scary experience.
Well, it's always very scary, but it's even scarier when you're watching an employee run out the door.
Right, to try to chase him down. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was totally responsible, and that's not a good feeling to see somebody that's been trained take off after a robber.
Got it. No, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. 414-799-1620. And I understand there's all sorts of reasons for that. I mean, in Janet's case, it's an armed robbery. She doesn't want to see the bad guys turn around and shoot and kill the employee. So I get that. I understand the reason they have these policies. It is the policy. The guy was out of policy, but does he need to be out of his job? Let's talk to, Rob in Waukesha. Rob, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jeff.
Hi, Rob.
I am a veteran, and I think this guy should not have been fired, maybe suspended for a couple of days, reprimanded, something like that, just because he did break the policy.
Right.
But you got to look at his background. Plus, you're talking if there's narcotics involved, what a nightmare for the pharmacy to go through and have to justify where all these pills went to.
Oh, right.
I think this guy evaluated. He knew what he was doing. He has the experience.
Yeah.
And the company should be glad that someone is working for him like that.
Yeah, and that's what he says. He says, look, I was in Afghanistan. I just reacted. We called 911. I got the customers out of the store, and then these guys are running at me, and we get into a struggle. I just reacted. And that costs you your job. Hey, thanks for calling. I mean, I just think CVS is wrong in this case. Do they have a right to have their policy? Yeah, I get it. Is there legal reasons why they have it? Yes. Was the guy out of policy? Yes. Should he be out of a job? Heck no.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Today's a big day. Milo is here.
Who's Milo?
Haven't you heard about Milo?
Is Milo handsome?
I could see Milo on the cover of a magazine.
Really?
Milo is the epitome of cool. Hip, sharp.
Is Milo single?
Sure. Or a full. Or a queen. Or a king.
Wait, Milo's not a he. It's a bedroom set.
The Milo Bedroom Collection with queen platform bed, 6-drawer dresser, mirror, and 3-drawer nightstand. Starting at just $48.28 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. The Energy Star ratings for windows are getting a lot tougher to get the tax credit, so you're going to want to take advantage of. Fortunately, we still have options that will qualify you for those tax credits. Now, I can sit here and talk benefits of this product or what's great about that product. So can everybody else. But what a lot of operations can't do is with complete confidence stand behind the crew that's going to be on that next job. Talk is cheap, I get it, but our people are exceptional. How do I know? Because me and Vito handpick every single person that makes our team. Some make the cut, a lot don't. And that's why you can be confident that the windows we install for you will be top quality, installed right, and that you're going to get great service. And that's never failed us. So for your home's new windows, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com.
With Social Security, the longer you wait, the more money you may get. Deciding when to start taking your Social Security benefits is one of the most important retirement decisions you'll make. Our team of advisors at Drake & Associates can show you the options and help you decide on the best decision for you and your situation. You spent decades paying in, optimize what comes out. Our experienced team can help you squeeze every penny out of your Social Security benefits. I'd love to get you our Retirement Ready Toolkit, which includes guides such as the Social Security decision. To receive this complimentary toolkit, call or text SS to 414-409-9982. That's calling or texting SS to 414-409-9982.
Investment advisory services provided by Drake & Associates, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance products are offered through a separate company, Loft Financial Advisory Group, LLC, a Wisconsin insurance agency. Clients are under no obligation to purchase any recommended insurance products.
Hey Jeff, Aaron Pelican here, the final producer of your legendary career, and I just wanted to say that even though it's been short, it's definitely been sweet. What a cool thing for me so young in my radio career to work with you. It's been an absolute honor, and it's an experience that I will cherish for the rest of my career and take with me for the rest of my life as well. You've been so great with me. You've shown me so much. You've shown me exactly what it means to be a pro in this business of radio, and it's kind of funny, on my second day on the job, you officially announced your retirement, so I was brand new and you were winding down, but you were so patient and so kind and generous with me, and I will appreciate that forever. Thank you again so much, and congratulations. Enjoy your retirement. You really deserve it. And hey, stay out of the bunkers.
It's 12:09. This is Jeff Wagner, WTMJ, broadcasting live. It's day 8 at Summerfest. We are broadcasting from the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone from our WTMJ mobile studio right here on the lakefront. If you are coming down, be sure to stop off and say hello. I'll be here till 3 o'clock today and then back tomorrow again. Love it down here at the lakefront. It is, I got to say, it's warm. It's kind of muggy. When the breeze comes up off the lake, though, no better place to be. All right. I hope you enjoyed your 4th of July holiday. It's kind of odd when it falls in the middle of the week, but here's how I spent my July 3rd and 4th, and this is going to lead into the first thing that I want to discuss with you. Tuesday night, had a chance to go out and watch our very own Eric Billstead participate in the Menominee Falls Parade. I was there with, my family, and actually my stepdaughter went out, and she and some of her friends, they stake out this area a day beforehand, and it was towards the end of the parade route, and they do it up right. Had a grill, lots of food. So we got there, watched the parade, saw the fireworks, had a great time on the 3rd of July. So I did get my fireworks in on the 3rd of July. The Menominee Falls folks did a tremendous job. So we have sort of a tradition in my family. We have some very, very close friends who live on the lake in Whitefish Bay, a little bit south of Clody Park, which is where they shoot the fireworks off. And so historically, we all invite ourselves over to their house on the 4th of July, so we can, go out in their backyard and you can watch the fireworks. And it's just great. And they're always, I appreciate Tom and Meredith doing it so very much. And so last night was no different than that. So yesterday morning, I get up, went out, played 18 holes of golf in the morning, and it was nice, very, very hot. Came back, and it's one of those experiences, take a shower, kind of hanging out. I put on one of my favorite T-shirts. It's a Jimmy Buffett tour shirt from 2005. Kind of watched the ball game, take a little bit of a nap. We were going to leave about 6:15. My wife says, "Okay, it's time for you to wake up." And I said, "Okay, I'm ready to go." And she takes one look at my shirt and she says, there's a question mark here. She said, "You're not wearing that shirt, are you?" Now, of course, even though there was a question mark at the end of it, there was really an exclamation point. "You're not wearing that shirt, are you?" And I said, "Well, why?" She said, "You're not wearing that." So, got to get dressed again, so got to make sure we do that. So as we are driving over to our friend's house, I'm starting to notice these really, 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 really dark clouds that are sort of moving in. And by the time we get there around 6:45 or so, it starts raining. First it starts raining a little bit, then it starts raining like Noah's getting ready to build a boat, and there's big cracks of lightning outside and things like that. Well, it's no problem for me at the time being, because like I say, we're going over to our friend's house. Their backyard, abuts the lake, so yeah, you'd go out in the backyard to watch the fireworks, and normally on the 4th of July, we'd be out in the backyard, sitting around doing things, but at least they've got the house. So we're all inside the house as we're watching the rain come down, and coming down hard, with the exception of a couple people who draw the short straws and have to go out and grill the brats and grill the hamburgers. Everybody else is dry inside the house as we're watching this rain. And of course, a number of us who are obsessed with things, we're looking at the radar, and you're looking at the storms that are kind of moving through. Well, anyhow, it rains like heck. It's raining really, really hard. Now, where I was, I want to estimate that the rain stopped probably around 8:30 or 8:45 for all intents and purposes. Maybe it was down to a drizzle, but most of the heavy stuff was really out over the lake. At the same time, around that time, Whitefish Bay ended up canceling its fireworks, and a number of other communities did that as well. Wauwatosa Police said that as of 8 o'clock, the fireworks display was going to be canceled. Germantown, Sussex, Elm Grove, they all rescheduled their fireworks along with Whitefish Bay for this evening. Shorewood canceled their fireworks. They've yet to reschedule the date. Brookfield postponed their display. They rescheduled for Thursday night. So a lot of communities made the decision around 8 o'clock that they were going to cancel the fireworks. Now, I've heard from a number of you today, people saying, well, all right, they ended up getting it wrong. And here's the way the argument goes. If you were going to cancel the fireworks, you should have done it earlier on when it first started raining, because there was apparently a lot of people that hung out at some of the parks and, braved the rain waiting for the fireworks. So the decision was you should have either done it earlier, or you should have just gone ahead and done it, because by 9 o'clock or 9:30, most of the rain, not all, but most of the rain was out of the area. So if you had all these people that were sitting around and they were waiting as of, they're there at 8 o'clock, they've been getting drenched for the last couple hours, why not hang out, wait for the rain to subside, and then shoot off the fireworks? At least that's what I'm hearing a number of people say in various emails and communications to me today. Various communities throughout the area made the decision most of them sometime between 8 and maybe 8:30 last night, as actually most of the rain was starting to move out of the area, to cancel the fireworks. Should they have gone ahead with the display, or was that the right decision? And for people who were looking forward to going to their local park, are you disappointed that they didn't go ahead and do it last night? Again, given the fact that most of the rain was over, admittedly, things were really, really soggy. Did the local communities get it right? I'll give you my answer, and we'll discuss in just a moment. This is Jeff Wagner, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ Now with Steve Scafidi.
This is not a Super Bowl team. And you talk about getting out in front of your skis. That's really far out in front of your skis.
Get the latest news.
I don't care if you don't like it. There's consequences to lying. There's consequences to behavior that is counterproductive to the democracy that we hold so dear in this country.
Hear the opinions.
You don't have to be elected to be a leader in a community.
All in Wisconsin.
Keep your dirty, stinking hands off my steak.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Omaha Steaks and omahasteaks.com. You want to be the person everyone says, oh my goodness, gives the best gifts. How about this one? The gift of Omaha Steaks. Send it to a friend, family member. I've done this. You'll never forget their smile when the next time you see them, they say, oh my goodness, that was amazing. It's a favorite memory. Omaha Steaks is perfect for the holidays. The holidays are here. Take the guesswork out of that shopping. Go to omahasteaks.com, save 50% off site-wide. Plus, use our promo code WTMJ, get an additional $30 off your order. Juicy butcher's cut filet mignons, gourmet jumbo franks, even easy to prepare meals that are ready in a flash. With Omaha Steaks, the possibilities are endless. Offer won't last long. We're ready to ship your order right away, so shop early, beat the shopping rush. Go to omahasteaks.com, use promo code WTMJ, $30 off your order. A gift from the heart. Visit omahasteaks.com, enter the promo code WTMJ, get an extra $30 off your order. Make your holiday. Minimum order may be required.
The holidays are a time of reflection and change. While gathering and sharing life stories with loved ones, perhaps one is contemplating that life-changing decision to downsize and move. I'm Jean Nemovitz, longtime realtor with Bruce's team. We're ready to provide the information your family or you, the senior, deserves so your decision can match the lifestyle to who you are today. Enjoy the years ahead with a safe, quality lifestyle, doing all you can to maintain your independence. Get started today at brucesteam.com, taking you from overwhelmed to I can do this.
Set your independence in motion. It starts with PACE at Community Care. The program of all-inclusive care for the elderly, also known as PACE, offers complete medical and long-term care services. A team of dedicated healthcare professionals coordinates all aspects of care to support independent living as long as possible. Learn more about a community that cares. Visit joinpacewi.com or call 833-900-PACE. That's joinpacewi.com or call 833-900-PACE.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hey, Scott Walker here. Congratulations to Jeff Wagner on a quarter century of airtime on News Radio 620 WTMJ. During that time, he helped get rid of crooked politicians after the Milwaukee County pension scandal, pushed back against liberals who wanted to let criminals out of prison early, and along the way, he kept listeners in southeastern Wisconsin well-informed as well as absolutely entertained. Jeff's also an active member in the community. He's a longtime member of the Milwaukee Armed Forces Week Committee and personally led a WTMJ Cares initiative, speaking with cancer patients, doctors, nurses, and researchers about their experience to help raise awareness about cancer screenings. Jeff Wagner is an icon in Wisconsin. Jeff, Tonette and I wish you all the best in your retirement, and we look forward to seeing you at next year's Armed Forces dinner.
It is 12:20. Jeff Wagner, 620 WTMJ. In just a little bit, for everybody who was saying, eat crow for making that wrong prediction, we'll post my homage to that, my mea culpa. It'll be up on our Facebook page, probably our website as well, just as soon as the lovely and charming Rachel gets done with doing it. Let's talk about last night's election. Tom and Racine. Tom, you're first. Good afternoon.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Hi, Tom.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
First thing I wanted to say is that as far as these emails that you and Charlie have been getting, nobody likes a sore winner. And I think that, and I wanted to thank you guys for being the heartbeat of common sense in my community, at least for me. Unfortunately, for the election, common sense doesn't account for the dark secret that a lot of people seem to have had for Trump affinity. And then I think this election has really shown us what lengths people will go to vilify the candidates that they are actually most like, which is sneaky. And with the majority being taken in Senate and House of Representatives for Republicans and the White House, I think this is a chance for people to really see what a party is capable of doing without legislative gridlock that we've experienced.
Well, exactly, and thanks. See, and by the way, I mean, I don't. First of all, I don't apologize for some of the concerns I have about Donald Trump. My mea culpa is for making an incorrect prediction. I hope. I'm rooting for America. I say that after every presidential election, whether my guy wins or my gal wins or loses. And in this case, I just didn't really have a horse in the race. I want to see America succeed. And I think, and we'll get into this as to what happened, why there's the votes. But, one of the things that you're exactly right is now Republicans own this. You have got a Republican president, you've got a Republican Senate, you've got a Republican House of Representatives, and now's the time to come out with the agenda. Now is the time. See, a lot of people in the House of Representatives, Republicans, I think got a bad rap over the last electoral process because they say, well, you didn't do enough to stop Barack Obama. Well, there's only so much you can do to stop Barack Obama. But now, the Republicans have the keys to government, and now they have to govern. They have to govern, and if they don't govern, they will be held accountable. And I hope we're all able to appeal to the better angels of our nature, because there were some issues, let's face it, that Donald Trump was talking about that, should give you pause. I mean, and I'm hoping that's going to be reined in. I mean, are we really going to round up 11 million people who are in this country illegally? That's just not practical, as we've talked about before. Are we really going to give nuclear weapons to Japan so we don't have to help them pay for their defense? Is that really smart? But again, I'm hoping people can come together and, we can start moving the country. Mike in Bayview. Mike, you're on 620 WTMJ. Hello.
Hi, thank you.
Mike.
Just 2 quick points. I know I had the same concern about how is he going to govern, and again, lack of experience with an elected position. But when I saw the talent that he had with him on stage last night, I thought it was so classy that he brought everybody up, from Giuliani to Christie. I don't think we're going to have an issue there.
Right.
But the main issue I wanted to bring up is I think when all the Trump supporters, me included, kind of come down from the hangover that we had from last night.
And it's a well-deserved hangover. You deserve a rush. Absolutely. It was a stunning political victory. Probably the greatest political surprise in my lifetime. I wasn't around for, Dewey, Truman, but
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And but what I was really considering or thinking is, I think that polling is probably 20 years behind the times, and their polling companies are going to really have to consider how are we conducting and how do we get more outreach, because what I heard the reoccurring theme last night from a lot of the talking heads was we just didn't consider the rural vote coming out, strength. Are they reaching out to these people? Is it easier just to poll, obviously, in a concentrated city? And then, of course, those tend to be Democrat.
Well, Mike, I have to tell you, I think polling as we know it, political polling as we know it, is dead. I mean, it's just...
Yeah.
It's been the exit polls have been worthless for the last 2 or 3 elections. Now this applies to pretty much all the polling. The pollsters are getting it wrong, whether it was whether they weren't reaching the right people, or whether it was people who wouldn't participate or wouldn't admit that they like Donald Trump.
How do you reach them? Do you do it through email? Is there different ways to reach out and get an accurate?
I will tell you this. I have learned my lesson. And I mean, I've been saying this. I turned bad on exit polls 2 or 3 elections ago when, we had a couple that we did locally that just did not match up with reality. And I knew they didn't match up with reality from the beginning. Now nationwide. I mean, it's like you can't believe this, because the Marquette Law School poll was the gold standard. Marquette Law School missed this, it missed it big time this time. They missed the Feingold race.
Usually.
Yeah, no, that's, I mean, even when the gold standard is getting it wrong, and, they got it wrong. Let's take a quick break. We are going to be continuing this. Anything you want to talk about last night's election, nationally, of course, the Donald Trump stunning victory, locally, statewide. It's a great day to be a talk show host. Jeff Wagner, 620 WTMJ.
If you can't get a good night's sleep, let me ask you, are you breathing well? Because if you're snoring or waking up each night with a stuffed up nose, or frustrated with your CPAP mask, the root of your sleep problem lies in your breathing triangle. And if any one of those passages isn't working, you won't sleep well And there's no mattress, pill, or other gimmick that can fix that. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. A recipe for a good night's sleep starts with an open airway. Now, there are devices that can help solve snoring or sleep apnea problems. If you walk into a sleep center, know you'll walk out with a CPAP. And you might find other options elsewhere, but the simple truth is, if your nose doesn't work properly, no device will help. Only at Advent will you find every effective snoring and sleep apnea solution, along with a world-class team that can get your nose working properly again.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Your locally owned hometown station gives you the news and what it means to you. Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Good afternoon. Just ahead of 1 o'clock, we have 32 degrees, cold and windy the rest of the day. We're only going to get to 34, and those wind chills 10 to 20 miles an hour, or 10 to 20 degrees rather, wind gusts to 45 miles an hour. Clear and cold tonight with a low of 19. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. We Energy still working to restore power. Right now, just under 3,900 are without. At one time, it was more than 5,000, most of those in Waukesha County. A major storm system shaking up the East Coast today, leaving thousands of customers in the dark there as that storm continues its trek through New England. ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z has the latest.
We had gusts easily over 60 miles per hour, taking down trees, taking out power. For now, looks like more than 100,000 customers, at least in the Northeast. And that will keep going through the day because we've got really gusty winds, those flood watches from Montclair all the way up toward Albany.
America's support for Israel is unshakable. That's what Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin told reporters during his visit to Tel Aviv today. Austin said the U.S. stands by Israel's right to defend itself from Hamas, but emphasized Israeli forces must do everything possible to avoid civilian casualties in the Gaza Strip. Around 600 Milwaukee residents are having their property tax bill reissued because the amount due was too low. Mayor Cavalier Johnson tells WTMJ Now it's likely just a mistake.
Some of the things that we're talking about are human error. Right? I mean, we've got, thousands and thousands of people who work for the city of Milwaukee. And sometimes in a large organization like ours, there will, unfortunately, sometimes be errors like this because we're only human.
A corrected bill should be mailed out in the coming weeks. The Wisconsin DOR reminding residents to check their property tax bill for the lottery and gaming credit. It provides property tax relief to qualifying taxpayers. It'll be displayed as a reduction of taxes due, and the funds are paid into a separate state fund. Qualifiers include being a Wisconsin resident, owning a dwelling, and using it as a primary residence. If you think you qualify but do not see the credit on your bill, you can apply with the municipal treasurer or a late claim application. A Milwaukee police officer had ties to the Oath Keepers over a decade ago. President of the Milwaukee Police Association, Andrew Wagner, says they have a standard for officers' involvement in groups outside of work.
Police officers are held to standard operating procedures. They can't join groups that are racist groups or other kind of extremist type groups. If they were, then that would warrant a type of investigation.
There is no defined list of racist or extreme organizations from MPD, but the Southern Poverty Law Center and Anti-Defamation League consider the Oath Keepers an extremist group. The deal between the UW and the legislature to freeze DEI programs has vocal supporters and critics. President of the UW Madison Faculty Group Profs, Mike Bernard Donalds, tells Channel 3000 it has pros and cons.
The arrangement does provide some good things for the universities of Wisconsin and the UW-Madison, but it threatens to erode our initiatives in the diversity space because of Representative Boss's fairly narrow ideological position on that.
UW-Madison will receive a new engineering building as part of the deal. Pope Francis clearing the way for same-sex couples to receive blessings under certain conditions. Vatican announced the landmark decision today, saying priests can give the blessings if they are not given as part of regular church rituals. The Pope first opened the door to the possibility of blessings for same-sex couples back in October. The Ohio House taking a step toward adopting daylight saving time permanently. The resolution now in the Ohio Senate's General Government Committee for consideration urges the U.S. Congress to pass the Sunshine Protection Act, which would see daylight saving time being permanently observed throughout the entire country. Lawmakers say the time change in the fall leads to mental health issues like depression, an increase in automobile accidents, and even an increase in crime. It's the time of year for office parties with your coworkers, or maybe not. ABC's Sherry Preston says there seems to have been a shift in boozy nighttime gatherings.
Another casualty of the pandemic, the after-work cocktail-infused office holiday party. Several party planners tell the New York Times afternoon parties are what workers want these days. Part of the reason, a lot of people are working hybrid and they prefer being home with their families in the evenings. Another part, the booze is no longer a draw. According to a recent Gallup poll, 40% of younger Americans say they aren't regular drinkers, unlike many of their older peers.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 16 points, 37,321. S&P 500 up 26. The Nasdaq Composite is up 104 right now. The Annex Wealth Management Year-End Tax Planning Guide is here. Download yours at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 103.
It's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for Panoramic CBD. Whether you're looking to reduce anxiety, pain, depression, or just need to relax, Panoramic CBD has the best products for everyone's needs. They farm, process, test, and package their own CBD products, hence the slogan from soil to oil. By overseeing every stage of the process, Panoramic CBD eliminates the middleman, ensuring unmatched quality throughout. To offer you the best CBD products at the best prices for you and your pets. Shop local. Shop Wisconsin. From soil to oil, PanoramicCBD.com.
Sweet, flaky, and utterly delicious. That's the famous Kringle from O&H Danish Bakery. Guaranteed to get you on the nice list, O&H Danish Bakery can deliver that heavenly goodness right to your doorstep. Now that's a memorable gift where you know you've nailed it. And it arrives fresh in just 2 business days, anywhere within the country. Order online today, ohddanishbakery.com, or come on in to O&H Danish Bakery in Racine, Oak Creek, or Sturnivan and taste the difference of bakery made from scratch.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
If a tree falls in the forest, but nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Oh, good one. I've got one for you.
Okay.
If you go to Hasselus Mattress, but there are no employees, do you still get a free box spring?
Huh?
It's a trick question. You totally get one.
Get what?
A free box spring with the purchase of a new Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, or Serta Perfect Sleeper now through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Or take an equal amount off an adjustable base.
But
our 43 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. Free next day delivery too.
Okay, but my question...
If a tree falls...
Right.
And nobody's there...
Yeah?
You still get a free box spring with a Serta Perfect Sleeper, Sealy Posturepedic, or Beauty Rest mattress from Hasselus.
But does it make a sound?
A box spring? Of course not.
I give up.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
Behind a career day for Baker Mayfield, the Tampa Bay Bucks wrecked the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field on Sunday. This one by a final score of 34-20.
That was a tough one. Give Tampa a ton of credit. They came in, they whooped us in every phase. We got to play better. We got to coach better.
With the loss, the Packers dropped their second straight game, falling to 6-8 on their season, and are back on the road in Carolina next Sunday. From bad news to good news, as the Milwaukee Bucks continued their home hot streak, winning their 13th straight game at Pfizer Forum, beating the Houston Rockets Sunday night by a final of 128-119.
Giannis goes right past his man and then sends it down with a two-hand champ. He almost hit his head on the rim on that one.
Giannis finished with 26 points, 17 rebounds, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the Bucks' career rebounding leader. And lastly, the 19th-ranked Marquette women's basketball team knocked off Appalachian State Sunday, 99-91. Jordan King led with 29 points, and the Golden Eagles, with the victory, improved to 12-0. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Time for a look at your roads now with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. No major delays out there right now. Looking at pretty typical drive times. 94 westbound from the zoo to Highway 16, about an 11-minute drive. Downtown to the zoo, about a 6-minute drive. And 4145 northbound from the zoo interchange to Highway Q, 16. 43 northbound from the Marquette interchange to Brown Deer Road, running about 10. And 94 south from the Marquette interchange to Layton Avenue, about a 6-minute commute this afternoon.
Traffic is sponsored by Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Shop Ken Michaels Furniture year-end clearance sale for savings up to 50% on furniture and mattresses. Showrooms in Greenfield, Brookfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
A WTMJ 5-day forecast. Cold and windy today. High 34 with a wind chill 10 to 20 degrees. Mostly clear and cold tonight. 19 for the low. Sunshine, a few clouds tomorrow, 36. Then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Mostly cloudy skies with highs in the mid-40s. A chance of showers on Friday. Madison, 24. Green Bay, 27. Milwaukee, 32 degrees. I'm Connie Weber. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 107.
Jeff Wagner's 25-year career at WTMJ comes to an end. For the rest of the year, dive back in the archives with us as we bring you the best of Jeff Wagner throughout his career. You're listening to the best of Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
It was amazing how condescending a lot of the commentators were. And the thing that, well, we didn't know that there were so many stupid white men out there. I mean, and I'm just barely paraphrasing because that's kind of what I was hearing from a number of the commentators. Oh, this is, I mean, it's these stupid, uneducated white people, and particularly white men who are coming out and they're voting in droves. Well, no, the truth is Donald Trump tapped into that. Number one, Donald Trump tapped into a sentiment that I think both of the mainstream political parties didn't get. And number two, Hillary Clinton was an awful candidate. As I was watching the election returns, I seriously wonder if Bernie Sanders had been the nominee instead of Hillary Clinton, would it have been a different dynamic? Because, if you look in Wisconsin, for example, Hillary Clinton did not get anywhere near the Democratic turnout that Barack Obama did. And that's what ended up costing her Wisconsin because, I mean, she was not an inspiring candidate. She had all that different baggage that was there. But, I mean, I do think the idea to portray all the Trump supporters as, oh, these are just uneducated, angry white men. No, it's something, it's much more than that's going on. Josh in Wauwatosa. Josh, good afternoon.
I don't want to beat on you. I'm just curious because I'm not conservative and I really don't like Trump. And I don't like Hillary much either. But you were very adamant that he was not going to win and there was no way he was going to win.
Yep.
So did you not, you said you didn't believe exit polls, but didn't you, I heard rumblings that Trump supporters were lying and hiding and not.
Yeah, right. It was that the Trump supporters, then that's what the Trump campaign was arguing, that there were closet Trump supporters who were embarrassed to admit it. And I'll tell you why I discounted that. And obviously, I was wrong. And that's fine. You can beat on me. No, that's fair. I mean, look, I'm posting pictures of me eating crow. No, I don't know what happened. See, I've been hearing that for election after election. The candidates are behind in the polls. That's kind of the standard thing. Well, they're not contacting our supporters or people aren't coming forward. This time, I think that was a factor. In addition, I think the pollsters just weren't sampling, the audience that was out there. And I do think that the political polling right now, I think has been completely discredited, and they're going to have to come out with completely different models. I will tell you this: I've learned my lesson, Josh.
May I ask one more thing?
Sure.
Well, one more comment. I think all this kumbaya now is going to be very short because I really don't believe Donald Trump is who he says he is. So I think there's going to be a big fight in the Republican Party coming up soon.
There might very well be, but I mean, the truth is there would have been a much bigger fight in the Republican Party if Donald Trump had lost. I mean, I think what's going to hopefully happen is I like Paul Ryan a lot. I've known Paul for years. I think Trump is going to delegate some of the actual the hard work of drawing up the legislation. I think he's going to defer to the Senate. I think he's going to defer to Congress on actually the legislative stuff. I think he's going to be a big picture guy. These are the type of things I want, and here get him through. At least I hope so. And once again, I say this every 4 years. Regardless of who the president is, I'm rooting for the country. I mean, I am. I want us to do well. I don't know. And I will tell you, I mean, I think that there could be splits in the Republican Party if you have the president that starts to advance certain policies that just give a lot of people, just give them the willies. Because, I mean, there's going to be a 2 or 3 vote majority in the Senate. But if you start to do stuff that's way out there, you're going to lose some of those Republicans. Let's talk to Robin in Madison. Robin, good afternoon.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for taking my call.
Hi.
I think the one person I'm most happy for in this is Ron Johnson.
Yes, absolutely.
He seems to be one of the true citizen legislators out there. And his victory also consigns Feingold to the dustbin of history, along with the Clintons. And
Robin, why do you look, again, this is another one where forget the polls. 3 months ago, 6 months ago, every analyst, both in Wisconsin and probably outside Wisconsin, and most of the people in politics gave Ron Johnson no chance at all to beat Russ Feingold. And Johnson not only beat Russ Feingold, he trounced Russ Feingold. He outperformed Donald Trump by 5-6 points, whatever. What happened? Why did Johnson win as big as he did? Why did he win?
I don't know. Maybe people are just sick of the entitlement attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hillary Clinton thought she was entitled to be president in 2008, and then Obama came along. Now she thought it again in 2016. Feingold almost acted like he was entitled to that Senate seat, and he didn't really run a campaign of any kind of substance.
Yes, I agree with you. There was no. I remember Feingold's previous races, and he ran kind of as this. I'm this maverick, and I want to go to Washington to shake things up and stuff. I didn't see that in this campaign. I saw an old politician trying to, run for a job. I didn't hear anything about that vision stuff. And Ron Johnson is able to articulate a vision. Plus, he's a genuinely nice guy. And I think that came through in some of the campaign stuff. I think he ran some great ads, like the ones, with his kids, and one of the final ads where he's sitting there in the flannel shirt in front of the fire. I think he ran a great campaign. But Feingold didn't give people a reason to vote for him other than, hey, I'm Russ Feingold and I was in office.
That's the only thing I can think of. And, I was listening to the radio at some ungodly hour of the morning, and they were talking to some talk show host from Philadelphia who said that about 40 to 50,000 African-American voters who had come out to vote for Obama in the last two elections did not vote in this election. And that is about the margin by which Trump won Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And he only won Wisconsin by about 30,000 votes. So I'm wondering how many people who came out in 2008 and 2012 didn't come out this time. And now those two states basically put Trump over the top. So, I hope Trump can be a good president. I voted for him solely because of the list of Supreme Court potential nominees he put out. I thought that was that important, and to get non-judicial activists in there. So, I hope he can work with people and not say the stupid things that he said, and stay the heck off Twitter at 3 in the morning.
You don't want to hear the President of the United States tweeting about, I don't know, check out the adult film or
or how fat Miss Universe got. I don't care about that. And he sounded very presidential in his acceptance speech.
It was the perfect
night.
tone. Absolutely.
And if he can continue to do that, he has said some horrible things over the last year. He needs to stop doing that and move forward and try to act more presidential. And I thought he did a good job last night.
I would agree with you. Thanks. And you're right about the black. But this has been something that the media doesn't want to write about, but it's been true of the entire Obama years. In 2008 and in 2012, to a slightly lesser extent, Black America turned out in droves to vote for Barack Obama. And I get it. It's the idea that, hey, we never thought in our lifetime that we'd have an opportunity to vote for somebody who looks like us. But Barack Obama has never, ever, ever been able to translate his personal popularity into broad support for down ballot candidates, other than perhaps the first time he ran in 2008. The 2010 and 2014 off-year elections were disasters. 2012 was okay, but it wasn't anything special. And you're exactly right, Robin. If you look at the numbers, and it's not surprising. Okay, Hillary Clinton is a 69-year-old white woman. All right, it's not surprising to me that the African-American community is not going to respond to her with the same affection and love and enthusiasm that they did to Barack Obama. And I think where Democrats made a mistake, and we've talked about this on the program before, there was this idea that Hillary Clinton is going to be the first female president. We're going to bust through these glass ceilings, and women are going to be, rolling out to vote for her. Well, I never bought that. I understand that there's a lot of women out there who would love to see a female president. But that gender issue, but just not this female president. And Hillary Clinton was such a known commodity that I think that there's a lot of women who just said, this is not this kind of sisterhood type of thing. We want a woman, but not necessarily this woman.
Oh man, I hope it's not another cold day out in Wisconsin.
When Old Man Winter comes knocking, We're here to help keep you safe in the thick of it.
A winter weather advisory tonight and power outages in River West.
Snowy skies will make way for sub-zero temperatures over the next few hours.
With severe weather coverage on WTMJ. Sponsored by Fleet Farm. Proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. The Energy Star ratings for windows are getting a lot tougher to get the tax credit, so you're going to want to take advantage of. Fortunately, we still have options that will qualify you for those tax credits. Now, I can sit here and talk benefits of this product or what's great about that product. So can everybody else. But what a lot of operations can't do is, with complete confidence, stand behind the crew that's going to be on that next job. Talk is cheap, I get it, but our people are exceptional. How do I know? Because me and Vito handpick every single person that makes our team. Some make the cut, a lot don't. And that's why you can be confident that the windows we install for you will be top quality, installed right, and that you're going to get great service. And that's never failed us. So for your home's new windows, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Vince Vitrano here with the perfect holiday gift. My family would love to host your family on the biggest, boldest vacation ever. A 7-night adventure on the largest cruise ship in the world, the Royal Caribbean Wonder of the Seas. I'm working with Expedia Cruises in Brookfield, part of the #1 travel brand, Expedia, on this special invitation. We set sail December 29th, 2024, and celebrate the new year together at sea. Visit Expedia Cruises in Brookfield or call 262-955-1980.
Hey there, Eric Bilstead here. Jeff Wagner, my goodness, congratulations. I've known you a long time, been able to work side by side with you for a couple of decades now, believe it or not. In fact, the very first time I cracked a mic on this very radio station, you probably don't even remember this, you were on the air. It was a Saturday. I was producing, anchoring, and you were doing your show. It was such a great time then. It's still so great to hear you on the air now. Congratulations, buddy. Much love to you and the family and to Fran, and hit 'em straight.
It's 12:48, Jeff Wagner, 620 WTMJ. I really think last night's election, the results are probably the most stunning election results in my lifetime, because there's not too many people that saw a Donald Trump victory coming, and there's not too many people who saw a Ron Johnson win coming. And again, as I freely admit, my prediction regarding Hillary Clinton beating Donald Trump was wrong, so you can abuse me for that, but give me credit for being one of the people that did see a Johnson victory coming and the Republicans holding control of the United States Senate. So it was a mixed night, but I missed the big one, freely admit it. Let's talk to Jeff in New Berlin. Jeff, you're on 620 WTMJ. Hello.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Hey, I just wanted to say I travel a ton. And one thing I really noticed about this election is there are no bumper stickers for either candidate on anybody's cars.
Right.
There are no buttons. I think everybody was so embarrassed to admit that they would vote for one or the other that you didn't want to admit to it. And I think, like you said before, if Bernie would have ran, he probably would have won.
As I was watching that last night, because this was clearly a quote unquote change election, and I just don't think many of us, myself included, picked up how disgusted people were with the current system. And I do wonder. There's no question. Hillary Clinton, she did not do anywhere near as well with the youth vote as they thought she was going to do. And I do wonder if Bernie had been the guy, is it possible we could have had a socialist president today?
And I think if Paul Ryan would have ran, it would have been a landslide for the Republicans. It wouldn't have been close.
See, that's interesting.
I think the people that didn't want Trump, the Republicans that didn't want him because of what he said, the way he carried himself, people were disgusted with that. And had there been a good Democratic guy, Bernie, he would have pulled away a lot of votes that way. But I think with the type of person that Paul Ryan is, I think he would have walked away with it.
See, I mean, thanks. Now, I was saying that, and I freely admit when I'm wrong. I'd been saying that any other candidate would have been beating Hillary Clinton in the polls by 5 or 10 points, and I believe that. But I will tell you, now with hindsight being 20/20, I mean, I wonder whether that was the case, because I think part of the appeal that Trump had to middle-class voters who feel that they have been left out was the fact that he was the guy who was willing to say the outrageous things. He was the guy that didn't give a rat's you-know-what about political correctness and was willing to stand up and say these things. And I wonder if a more conventional candidate, somebody who wasn't as likely to tread on toes or something, I wonder if that person would have been able to generate a lot of the support that Donald Trump ended up getting. Let's talk to, Jim in Milwaukee. Jim, you're on 620 WTMJ. Thanks for waiting.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hi, Jim.
I'm an elderly senior citizen, only semi-college educated, 2-year degree.
Right.
I was so sick of listening to the divisive rhetoric and pigeonholing of people. This is a white guy. This is in rural America. I was a white guy in Milwaukee, and I was tired of hearing about it, their pompous attitude. And then in the very end, all these highly educated pollsters and media people were wrong.
Right.
So who won in the end? Those poor undereducated white people.
Well, and see, and I think, again, in retrospect, that it's more than that. I mean, there's a wave out there. It's not just the quote unquote uneducated, quote unquote angry white guy. I mean, the support was broader than that. I mean, Trump clearly tapped into some frustration that a lot of Americans have with just the fact that they're being left behind or whatever. And people turned out and voted in droves.
I think they did because of that Ron Johnson contest being so close.
Yeah.
And they figured, as long as I'm here, I might as well vote for Trump.
Right. And you look at Ron Johnson. I mean, Johnson outperformed Trump by several points. So obviously, I was getting all these emails saying, hey, you're not an enthusiastic Trump supporter. You're going to kill Ron Johnson. No. People understood how important that race was and what a good guy Ron Johnson was, and they turned out in droves to support Ron.
He actually dragged the president along with him.
Yeah.
Instead of the opposite.
Thanks for calling. Absolutely. So, I mean, that is a testament, and it's a credit to the strength of the down ballot Republicans, the Ron Johnsons, Mike Gallagher, Glenn Grothman, Jim Sensenbrenner, Sean Duffy. I mean, the list goes on. And just talking about Wisconsin and the Wisconsin Republicans who just turned out.
Missing the playoffs in '92, some thought it was the then in '97.
The Packers are going to enjoy the fruit and the Lombardi Trophy.
And in 2011.
The Lombardi Trophy is coming home.
Now with a new soundtrack to the season. It's officially the season of love. Catch Green Bay Game Day, pre- and post-game, all season long. Right here on WTMJ.
Hey, Brian. I think it's time to get serious about new windows and front door for our home.
I agree. It will save us money in the long run to eliminate the draft.
I was thinking more about our curb appeal, but yes, the draft thing too.
J&J Contractors in Greendale have been around for 40 years and have great reviews.
Go give them a call.
J&J Contractors' skilled and certified team uses high-quality materials for all your exterior needs. J&J Contractors do it all. Windows, doors, siding, roofing, and gutters.
Happy holidays. Yep, they are here. Hey, it's WTMJ's Brian Z. The holidays right around the corner. It's time for parties, family time, photos around that tree. Make sure your teeth are looking their best. Go see my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care. You know about Dr. Michaels. I tell you about him all the time. Whether you or your family need a simple cleaning and exam, a more complex dental procedure for an ache or a pain, a teeth whitening, an implant, Dr. Michaels and the team at Oconomowoc Dental Care will always make you as comfortable as possible while you're in the chair and give both you and your family an amazing smile. At Oconomowoc Dental Care, affordable quality dentistry no longer a dream, it's the reality. Dr. Michaels' fantastic staff can help you out with a no-interest payment plan, no financial stress this holiday season. We all have to go to the dentist, so do not wait any longer. Go see my guy, Dr. James Michaels at Oconomowoc Dental Care.
Outdoor living is a cherished experience here, especially in the warm season. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local family-owned company that will revolutionize outdoor living at your home. Visualize your home and yard with an in-ground pool, screen room, pergola, patio, pavers, deck, even an outdoor kitchen. Get with Outdoor Living Unlimited and put that dream into action. The honest, reliable artists and craftsmen will be honored to work with you. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Hi, Jeff. This is Joe Shalfa. Congratulations for your well-deserved retirement. Thank you for being that rational, warm, and comfortable voice from Milwaukee for all these years. Not only were you a great colleague, but also one of the kindest, most generous people I've ever met. I hope there are many holes in ones for you as you enjoy this next chapter.
There we go. Welcome back. So very glad to have you with us. Okay. Drag shows. Does everybody know what a drag show is? Drag shows are where you have performers who dress up as members of the opposite sex and perform. I have been to drag shows, some very entertaining ones. Key West, Las Vegas, and typically you'll have it's male performers who dress up as female singers. Barbra Streisand, notably, you'll have people who do Barbra Streisand. Liza Minnelli, Bette Midler, the list goes on. But it's very, very interesting, and it's guys that are dressed up like these characters, and I will acknowledge there's a high degree of entertainment with this. I mean, it's the ones that I have been to, and I am not a regular attendee at this, but like I say, I've been to one in Las Vegas, I've been to one in Key West, and it's entertaining. Now, one of the things you see, these aren't strip shows. It's nothing like that. They usually involve either the people singing or lip syncing and dancing. The performers are dressed in drag, which is, an exaggerated and highly stylized impersonation of the opposite sex. Okay, so that's what these typical shows are. And I have no problem with people attending these, particularly adults. All right, here's where it gets interesting. Madison East High School was planning on staging a student-organized drag show. It was originally scheduled for next week. It has now been canceled. Now, the school says it's been canceled because of safety concerns. In addition to an abundance of supportive messages regarding the event, the Madison School District says they've also received several messages that have raised a number of safety concerns for this student-led event. And the district spokesperson says, without question, the safety of all our students, staff, and families must be our top priority. Therefore, due to these recent safety concerns, we have decided to postpone this event to a later date. Now, I don't know what safety concerns that they're talking about, and if there were crazies out there that were making threats and things like that, well, there's no place for that. And if there were actual threats and things like that, you bring law enforcement in. But that kind of misses what I think is the conversation that you need to have, which is this type of show and is this type of performance, is it appropriate to be staged at a high school? Now, something that might be appropriate to go see in Las Vegas or go see in downtown Milwaukee or go see in Key West and things like that with professional performers, that's one thing. It's another thing to say, okay, is this appropriate for a high school? Just like when you're staging, I think, any sort of performance, whether it's a play or whatever, you're always going to be asking the question, okay, is this subject matter appropriate? And I guess the question becomes, is it appropriate to have high school students dressed in drag performing, I don't know, various skits and things like that? Or is that something that is better if it's going to be done outside the auspices of the high school, or, done, later on when people become adults? I guess my take on this, and again, I don't think the drag shows or the strip shows or anything like that. Nevertheless, I do find myself wondering whether this is subject matter which is appropriate for a student show at a high school. Is it age appropriate? And I will tell you, it's interesting because we're all over the map. Jeff, it's arts and entertainment, no different than a musical. It lets those students express themselves in a safe environment. Well, okay, is it? I guess, but are there limits? And would you argue, for example, that a burlesque show or a strip show would be appropriate at the high school? Now, I appreciate that drag it's not a strip show. It's a different sort of thing. But there's lots of stuff that's arts and entertainment. Would we argue for a burlesque show?
'Tis the season for celebrating at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join them all throughout the holiday season for special events to get you in the festive mood. From spectacular brunch events to a holiday marketplace to one-of-a-kind dinner and a show experiences, St. Kate has a celebration happening nearly every week through the holiday season. Make a night of it and extend the experience by booking an overnight stay at the hotel. Special packages are now available. Make your plans today to celebrate the holidays with St. Kate. Learn more by visiting stkatearts.com/holidays.
Have you heard about the game-changing jewelry store that's now open just in time for the holidays? It's Diamonds Direct on Mayfair Road in front of Mayfair Mall. Diamonds Direct, started by former diamond wholesalers who decided to stop selling to jewelry stores and start selling direct to the public. No middleman, no nonsense, no pricing games. It's the only store here with a nationwide low price guarantee. And the selection is mind-blowing. Hand-picked diamonds in all shapes and sizes, from a half carat to 20 carats. And case after case of earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets. It's like shopping 30 stores at once. Plus, Diamonds Direct has all the designer rings women want. Names like Bellagio, Henry Dawsey, and dozens more. If you're getting engaged or thinking jewelry for any occasion, your timing is perfect. A real direct diamond importer has finally arrived in Milwaukee with values you never thought possible. Discover the jewelry shopping concept that's sweeping across America, now open here on Mayfair Road in front of Mayfair Mall. Learn more and get details at diamondsdirect.com.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. I've had chiropractic care on and off my entire adult life. I can tell you Dr. Alex and his team at Connect Chiropractic do it different. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. At Connect Chiropractic, they use a special tool for adjustments focused on restoring nerve and muscle function. It's not just making your neck and back feel better, although mine already do. Connect Chiropractic can help with headaches, sciatica, vertigo, and more. Schedule an appointment now at GoConnectChiro.com. Tell them Vinny sent you. GoConnectChiro.com.
Jeff, I think it's completely fine as long as the performance has been vetted for appropriate material. Dressing in drag is a form of acting and performance art. You can have explicit drag shows or family-friendly ones, same as any performance. People who are offended need to remember that in early theater, like Shakespeare, men routinely dressed as women. Jeff, I think drag shows are fine. They're entertaining and enjoyable, and the content needs to be tailored to the group who is viewing the show. Jeff, I think it's not a good idea to have drag shows in high school. At the same time, though, I'm sure students have seen much worse on TV and can probably opt out of attending or watching the show. But overall, I think I would say no to the idea. Let's see. Jeff, if it's extracurricular and not during class time, I say rock on school drag shows. They don't involve nudity or sex. I recommend someone does the song Cuban Pete with maracas and goes chick chicky boom. For goodness sakes, why does a high school even consider having a drag show for their students? Is it educational to know that it might be entertaining, but I think it's inappropriate for high school, especially a public school that uses our taxes to operate. Jeff, why are some school systems so obsessed with LGBTQ? Well, I think they want to create a welcoming environment. The question is that what this does? Let's start with Chris in Elm Grove. Chris, you're first. Good afternoon.
My thing is, I have no problem with drag shows. However, I think this is a prime example of the hypocrisy we deal with in our society today when the left, says something's offensive. I don't know if you remember, it's like a year or two ago, it's either Whitefish Bay or Sherwood. They wanted to put on a high school play of To Kill a Mockingbird, and there was all this drama because they used the N-word in that play. So I think they did not go through with it. Now, obviously, this is going to offend some people as well, having a drag show. So since there's a possibility of offending somebody like they used with that, I don't think it should happen. Yeah. No, Chris, thanks for that. Interesting point. You are correct, and this is this sort of balancing that we have here. You're exactly right. I believe it was Whitefish Bay. I'm willing to be corrected. Or Shorewood. It was Shorewood. I'm sorry. I don't mean to pick on Whitefish Bay. It was Shorewood
where they were going to perform To Kill a Mockingbird, and you had this, at least certain groups that were outraged about this because of some of the language and the nature of the nature of the Mockingbird story. And so the public performances, I think, ended up getting canceled, and they had it on a very limited basis. But that's what we wrestle with, which is what is appropriate and what is inappropriate. Jeff, my problem is deciding that this is called and dedicated only to drag. If a kid wants to dress in drag and perform in a musical or a talent show, I would support this. Jeff, newsflash, this stuff is going on in grade schools all the way down to first grade and kindergarten with the knowledge of school boards and led by class teachers. But we don't dare to bring up biblical passages against men dressing as women or vice versa. Let's talk to Bill. Bill, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Jeff, I have a question for you first. Is this the Madison University High School, the Madison High School on the northwest side of Milwaukee?
No, this is Madison East in Madison.
Okay, well, I'm the former band director, music director, math teacher over at the other school.
Okay.
On the northwest side of Milwaukee, and I heard all this stuff, and I'm going to, I will extricate myself from that and let the Madison boys do what they want to do.
Why do you, I mean, I take it from your tone that you think this is inappropriate for high school.
Sir, I'm a music teacher. I am a retired U.S. Navy band music teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I never had any kind of confrontation or situation like this. It's kind of ridiculous, but hey, they're in Madison. Let them go to Madison. Let them do it in Madison. That's just fine. Leave me out of it.
Okay, Bill, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. I guess I'm a little, I would have been curious to know, again, from the perspective of a music teacher and stuff, what specifically do you find it to be inappropriate? Is it inappropriate because of the content? Is it age inappropriate? Whatever. I mean, again, my take on this, and feel free to disagree. This, and I read some of the objections where people were saying, well, this is an effort by the school system to groom kids and to, teach kids that the cross-dressing stuff is quote unquote normal, whatever you want to define normal as being. I don't think it's, I don't see it as that. I mean, for example, as I told you, I've been to, I've paid money, bought tickets to see some of these, people perform at some of these high-end drag shows. I don't walk out of those drag shows thinking, okay, gee, what I want to do is I want to dress up like Barbra Streisand and strut around the stage. That's probably, my wife is happy to hear about that. So I don't know about the grooming thing. I have trouble. I don't necessarily see that. I do think, though, it's always fair to have a comment about, again, the whole perspective of age appropriate. And that's where I look at it. Just like I wonder whether clearly there would be some plays that I would argue are age appropriate to be staged in the high schools. I wonder whether there's a need to have the drag show that's there. Well, now, of course, if you've got parents who want to take their kids to see some entertainment like that, and it's on their own time, okay, nobody's going to have any objection to that. I mean, I think that's a decision they make. The issue, though, becomes whether or not you need to give something like this the imprimatur of the school system. Now, backing up, if people were really making threats or there were security concerns, that's way beyond the pale. That's not what it's deserved at. Nevertheless, when did we get to this stage where it comes to, especially when it comes to education, whether it's public school education or private school education, where do we get to the stage where we always figure we have to push the envelope with these different sort of school-sanctioned events? And maybe if we concentrated more on teaching some of the basics like reading, writing, and math, maybe things would be better, and we left the drag shows to, left them to the independent entertainment that's going on around the Madison area.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Fredert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in Wisconsin, so there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit fredert.com/cancer.
Losing sleep lately? The job, the house, the headlines, or investments? How about the feeling your investment partner isn't a partner at all? They might be operating in someone's best interest, but that someone isn't you. It's time for Annex Wealth Management. It's easy. Head to annexwealth.com, click the Get Started button. We work in your best interest as a fiduciary. That commitment runs so deep, we put it in writing. Does your advisor do that? Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management. Start at annexwealth.com.
Hey, Fleet Rewards members! Save 12% now through the 24th at Fleet Farm. No rebates, no waiting, no mail-in forms or receipts. The added 12% savings coupon is for all members in-store and online. Not a member? Sign up in minutes to get your additional savings now. Forget the stamps or waiting for rebates. Save 12% during Fleet Rewards Appreciation Days. And thanks for shopping Fleet Farm. Some restrictions apply.
Gruber Law Offices and other business owners help local startups get on their feet on Project Pitch It. Watch it Saturday nights at 10:35 on WISN 12. One call, that's all.
Hi, I'm Chef Paul Bartolotta of the Bartolotta Restaurants with the perfect gift idea for your holiday season. A Bartolotta gift card. With so many unique restaurants to choose from, Mr. B Steakhouses, Brookfield and Mequon, Joy Gerard's, Ristorante Bartolotta, The Commodore, and more. They select the restaurant, we create the memories. So purchase a gift card at bartolottas.com and get a $20 holiday bonus for every $100 you spend. Happy holidays from all of us at the Bartolotta Restaurants, and thank you, Milwaukee.
When you see our selection of gently worn brand name girls and women's clothing, you'll love what you find, and you'll love the prices. So low that you won't believe your eyes. At St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, you'll find something cute, maybe a whole new outfit for so much less. Gently worn brand name clothing at far below retail. You're gonna love it. On Highway 100 at Layton and Greenfield, and 23rd and Lincoln in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul.
Have them hold the tea time. I'll be right with you guys. I gotta do something here. I don't have a script. I guess I'll just wing it. Hi, Jeff Wagner. This is Jonathan Green, formerly of The Greenhouse, there on WTMJ. I retired a lot of years ago. And let me tell you, retirement is tough. I heard that you were going to retire. I advise against it. I suggest you work for 15 or so more years and then maybe consider retiring. It's so tough out here. But if you don't take my advice and you do decide to retire, I wish you well. It's been great knowing you and it was great working with you. And it's also just great being here on the radio once again. So long, buddy. How's that without a script? Okay, guys, start the golf cart. I'm done.
144, Jeff Wagner, 620 WTMJ. Okay, Nashville, Tennessee. The local Black Lives Matter activist group. They want to have a meeting. So they schedule the meeting for the public room in the Nashville Library downtown. Okay, fine. And they got community rooms that are apparently open to groups. The library finds out that the rules of the Black Lives Matter meeting is that white people are not allowed. Matter of fact, I'm looking at the flyer now. The meetings are open, it says, to black and non-black people of color only. That's the rule. So no whites need apply. Theoretically, I guess if you're Hispanic, you could show up. The library finds out about this and they say, "I'm sorry, this is a public library. You can't use our meeting room. You can't exclude people on the basis of race. And if you're going to have a meeting here, it's got to be open to the general public." To which the Black Lives Matter movement puts out a statement saying that they are engaging in white supremacy. Due to white supremacy in our local government, we've had to change the meeting. We're surprised about this, but it shouldn't have been of the library's decision. We know the history about how this goes in this country. It's definitely something we want to make public to tell people what's going on in the city. Namely, we want to hold a meeting for black people only, and the public library says we can't do it there. Is this something to be outraged about? And if you're outraged, how should you be outraged? At the library or maybe at the Black Lives Matter movement? Andrew in South Milwaukee. Andrew, you're on 620 WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I just want to first start by saying it's a place of public opinion. Like, people anywhere can come into a library, sit down, read a book, have a meeting, whatever.
Right.
It's not the library saying, okay, you can't have, like, you're allowed to not have white people there. It's not like they're segregating the group. They're saying you can't have this in our library because you're segregating.
Right, yeah, they're not saying you can't have the meting. They say, go ahead, you can have the meeting, but you can't put out these rules. Yes.
So they're just kind of like, I feel like, I don't know how to put it in a...
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, here's how I put it. I mean, this is racism in the extreme. I mean, whenever you have these cases, I always say you look at it on the other side. If I wanted to go down to the downtown library. Downtown library in Milwaukee is a wonderful facility. And I wanted to have a meeting. Okay, we're going to have this meeting. And as part of the meeting, I wanted to put up a sign. I'm going to say, oh, by the way, we're going to exclude blacks. So let's just use an example. Okay, no blacks will be allowed in this room. Well, of course, everybody would be appropriately screaming that is a racist position. You can't do that in a public facility. You shouldn't be doing it, period, but you can't do it in a public facility. You can't exclude people based on race, which is, of course, one of the protected classes, and that's precisely what they're doing here. I mean, this is racism in the extreme. And I guess what's so bizarre to me is the fact that the people at the Black Lives Matter are so into seeing their own form of racism that they don't realize it when they're doing it, and they seem to think that this is an outrage that's going to win support. I mean, my goodness gracious, you wonder how African American people, black people feel about this, that, all right, we want to use public facilities and we want to be able to exclude people based on race.
Oh man, I hope it's not another cold day out in Wisconsin.
Old Man Winter comes knocking. We're here to help keep you safe in the thick of it.
A winter weather advisory tonight and power outages in River West.
Snowy skies will make way for sub-zero temperatures over the next few hours.
With severe weather coverage on WTMJ. Sponsored by Fleet Farm. Proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflesh.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflesh.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflesh.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflesh.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus.
If a tree falls in the forest, but nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
If you go to Hasselus Mattress, but there are no employees, do you still get a free box spring with the purchase of a new Beauty Rest, Sealy Posturepedic, or Serta Perfect Sleeper now through Monday, or take an equal amount off an adjustable base?
Huh?
The answer is yes.
But does it make a sound?
A box spring? Of course not.
I give up.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
We all want a healthy, thriving community, and we all thrive when we share our time, talent, treasure, and ties. The Greater Milwaukee Foundation is partnering with the community through the Greater Together campaign. Join the foundation in this campaign to advance racial equity through investments in housing, early childhood education, and more. Make an impact today and for generations to come at GreaterMilwaukeeFoundation.org/campaign. Together, we can build a Milwaukee for all.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
On the east side, Kenny, you're at 620 WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hey, how are you doing, Jeff?
What do you think?
I think it's racism at its best. I mean, it was just 70 years ago, roughly, that they were fighting for the same thing. Where they couldn't go to a bathroom. It was only whites.
Right. Yeah, whites only. That thing. Yeah, exactly.
And it's totally ridiculous because they're what they fought for, and they finally got their rights. They're turning around and using it against white people. Like, it don't make. And
no,
what
it doesn't. Well, thanks for calling. I mean, see, I guess that's what strikes me about this whole thing, which is so bizarre about it, is that apparently the people in this particular local organization who's running this don't understand the racist nature of this position, to the point that instead of, when they hear about the library, is saying, no, you can't do this. We're not telling you can't have a meeting. We're just telling you if you come into a public facility, you can't have a meeting that says that people of a certain race are not allowed to participate or not allowed to show up. And they don't get it. Then they go on the offensive. It's, well, this is terrible. This is just white supremacy because they're telling us that we can't go into a public building and we can't discriminate, without understanding the irony of that particular position. That, all right, here you have, the black community, the African American community, who has had legitimate complaints over the years of, racism and being treated unfairly and being discriminated against and not being allowed to, in the cases you're giving, Kenny, use certain, drinking fountains, or, the whole idea of separate but equal, not being able to attend certain schools, not being able to go to certain bathrooms and things like that. And now it's like, okay, we want to be able to discriminate in our own public facilities, and we don't understand, why that might be, dripping with irony. Tom in Port Washington. Tom, you're on 620 WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hi, Jeff. Good morning, or good afternoon. Yeah, the irony in this, and you kind of covered it a little bit before, is that if you look back a little bit to the apartheid that happened in South Africa, in order to deny, citizens of rights, they would decide what degree of blackness. I believe there were at least two different categories. There were colored and I believe one other. But how black you were depended on your category. Well, so my question is, for the Black Lives Matter meeting, who's making the determination at the door as to who's black? If you're 1% black, is that black enough? Or if you're 50% black, I mean...
Right, yeah, right. Is there going to be some genetic testing, for example, that shows up at the door saying, well, you don't appear to be a person of color or enough of a person of color that we're going to let you into this meeting?
Yeah, I mean, and how do you decide? I mean, I think one of the improvements we've made in society is that, multiracial couples, biracial kids. I mean, it's not, people don't stare anymore. Years ago, I had a good friend who happened to be black. His wife was white, and they had multiracial kids. And if she went out with the kids that did appear more black, people stared. If he went out with them, they were fine. But we've kind of gotten that, for the most part, that's not important anymore. So who's going to decide at the door? Are you black? I mean, I probably wouldn't make it in there, but I've got friends who...
Well, yeah, and the other bizarre thing to me, Tom, is I have watched the we can have arguments as to whether, the Black Lives Matter movement is a positive movement or not. And I think it sort of depends. To me, the answer depends on, what is attempting to be accomplished by a particular group at a particular time. It's tough to, paint the whole movement with a broad brush, because some of the actions I think have been appalling. Others I understand you can maybe have argued have been constructive. But one of the things I've seen is when I look at a lot of these protests, for example, it's not just black faces. I mean, you see white people or other people of color who are sympathetic to some of the goals, and they're out there marching as well. Why would you exclude white people? That doesn't make any sense to me either. You probably got white people who are sympathetic to the goals. Don't you want to enlist them to help try to, advance whatever your particular issue du jour is going to be?
Yeah, I would think that their problem is they're thinking there's this racism out there, and what can we do to eliminate it is the question. And what the way they're going is only contributing to more racism.
Well, right. Thanks for the call. I mean, again, and it's just what's stunning to me about this whole story is the fact that not that the organizers down in Nashville attempted to do this, but when confronted with the idea that, no, in a public accommodation, a public building, you can't discriminate based on race, instead of just saying, okay, we get it, and either changing the idiotic policy that prohibits white people from being able to enter.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Beyond where you play, there's a pickleball kingdom where you can take lessons, grab a bite to eat, shop the pro shop, or join a league. Pickleball Kingdom Brookfield is the newest professional indoor facility in the Milwaukee area with unlimited access to court time. They're offering over $100 off a 3-month membership gift certificate. Don't forget this perfect holiday gift in anticipation of Pickleball Kingdom's grand opening. Pickleball Kingdom Brookfield, opening spring 2024 at the Ruby Isle Shopping Center. pickleballkingdom.com/Brookfield.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Your hometown hub for everything that matters. The latest news, traffic, weather, and sports on Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Good afternoon. Just ahead of 2 o'clock, we have cloudy skies and 30 degrees. Cold and windy the rest of the afternoon. May reach that high of 34. Wind chills 10 to 20 degrees with gusts up to 45 miles an hour. Tonight, mostly clear and cold with a low of 19. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. Planned Parenthood says they will resume abortion services at their Sheboygan clinic next week.
Those services will begin on Thursday, December 28th. It's the third and final of Planned Parenthood's clinics in Wisconsin to resume abortion services, with Milwaukee and Madison restarting theirs in September. That was sparked by a Dane County judge ruling that the 1849 law on the books does not refer to medical abortion. This decision comes on the heel of Judge Diane Schlipper reaffirming her decision earlier in December. Sheboygan County's District Attorney Joel Ermansky has said since the overturning of Roe v. Wade that he would prosecute any provider of abortions in his jurisdiction, but he says he's bound by the current ruling. Wyatt Barmar-Pooley, WTMJ News.
Patients can begin booking appointments beginning Monday. Today, a Milwaukee police officer had ties to the Oath Keepers over a decade ago. President of the Milwaukee Police Association, Andrew Wagner, says they have a standard for officers' involvement in groups outside of work.
Police officers are held to standard operating procedures. They can't join groups that are racist groups or other kind of extremist type groups. If they were, then that would warrant a type of investigation.
There is no defined list of racist or extreme organizations from MPD, but the Southern Poverty Law Center and Anti-Defamation League consider the Oath Keepers an extremist group. The UN Security Council preparing to vote as early as today on a proposal to demand that Israel and Hamas allow aid access to the Gaza Strip. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller gave no indications on how the U.S. plans to vote, noting that there are still ongoing discussions on the language of the proposal.
We're always trying to get to a place where there's language that we agree with, that other Security Council members agree with. But right now, when we're in the middle of the negotiation process, I wouldn't want to speculate.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says the U.S. stands by Israel's right to defend itself, but he also stressed Israeli forces must do everything possible to avoid civilian casualties in the Gaza Strip. During his visit to Tel Aviv today, Austin also told reporters the U.S. will continue to push for a two-state solution in the region. President Biden's approval rating hitting a new low. A new Monmouth University poll released today shows just 34% of Americans approve of Biden's performance in the White House, compared to 61% who disapprove. President received received particularly poor marks for his handling of immigration and inflation. Poll comes with the 2024 election less than 11 months away. Governor Evers announcing an investment of over $5 million in transportation for senior citizens and handicapped people. The state will see 18 mobility projects in 52 communities to increase transportation capacity and connect individuals with transportation services in 2024. Grants exist to lower the day-to-day cost of operating the programs. In a statement, Governor Evers said every Wisconsinite should have good, safe options for travel in their community. Reckless driving is one of Milwaukee's most persistent problems with public safety, and Mayor Cavalier Johnson says there should be more accountability for the driver. He tells WTMJ Now it's about decisions.
People are making the choice. They're making the decision to get behind the wheel of a vehicle and treat it like a missile, driving down the streets, endangering themselves and endangering the greater public safety for everybody.
Wisconsin DOT reports over 70 traffic deaths in Milwaukee County this year. Tough loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers yesterday has the Packers' playoff hopes doubtful. Former Packer Mark Tauscher tells Wisconsin's Morning News where he thinks Green Bay fell short.
Defensively, it was way too passive. They never made anything happen. They sat back and let Tampa dictate what they were going to do. And that's why we're sitting here talking about what's going to happen to the defensive coordinator.
Final score yesterday, 34-20. The late Justice Sandra Day O'Connor being honored at the Supreme Court today. She'll lie in repose inside the building's Great Hall so the public can pay their respects ahead of a funeral service tomorrow at the Washington National Cathedral. O'Connor, who was the first woman to sit on the Supreme Court, died December 1st at the age of 93. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 24 points, 37,330. S&P 500 is up 25. The NASDAQ Composite is up 109. Get ready for 2024 with investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:03.
This report sponsored by Mr. Holland's Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit MrHollandsHeatingandAir.com.
Where did the time go? These trips around the sun whiz by faster and faster. And now, a new year is here. A new season is upon us. But it's more than just the winter season. We look forward to a new season of grace, peace, and civility. But we won't see a season of change until we change. Until we start listening instead of shouting. Until we see each other as allies and not adversaries. Until we put others first and our agendas last. Change starts with our words, our actions, and our hearts. Be grateful. Be present. Be kind. Give a smile and a compliment. Donate time or money to a charity. Send an email praising excellent customer service. And never underestimate the power of saying please and thank you. Because yours may be the only one they hear today. Here's to the changing season. May it be change for the better. A holiday wish from Mr. Holland's Home Services.
This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. The Energy Star ratings for windows are getting a lot tougher to get the tax credit, so you're going to want to take advantage of. Fortunately, we still have options that will qualify you for those tax credits. Now, I can sit here and talk benefits of this product or what's great about that product. So can everybody else. But what a lot of operations can't do is, with complete confidence, stand behind the crew that's going to be on that next job. Talk is cheap, I get it, but our people are exceptional. How do I know? Because me and Vito handpick every single person that makes our team. Some make the cut, a lot don't. And that's why you can be confident that the windows we install for you will be top quality, installed right, and that you're going to get great service. And that's never failed us. So for your home's new windows, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update.
Behind a career day for Baker Mayfield, the Tampa Bay Bucks wrecked the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field on Sunday. This one by a final score of 34-20.
That was a tough one. Give Tampa a ton of credit. They came in, they whooped us in every phase. We got to play better. We got to coach better.
With the loss, the Packers dropped their second straight game, falling to 6-8 on their season, and are back on the road in Carolina next Sunday. From bad news to good news, as the Milwaukee Bucks continued their home hot streak, winning their 13th straight game at Pfizer Forum, beating the Houston Rockets Sunday night by a final of 128-119. 2019.
Giannis goes right past his man and then sends it down with a two-hand champ. He almost hit his head on the rim on that one.
Giannis finished with 26 points, 17 rebounds, passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to become the Bucks' career rebounding leader. And lastly, the 19th-ranked Marquette women's basketball team knocked off Appalachian State Sunday, 99-91. Jordan King led with 29 points, and the Golden Eagles, with the victory, improved to 12-0. I'm Brandon Snide, WTMJ Sports.
Taking a look at your roads with your Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. No major delays to report this hour. Typical drive times, 94 westbound from the Zoo to Highway 16, about 11 minutes. Downtown to the Zoo Interchange, about 6. And 43 northbound from the Marquette Interchange to Brown Deer Road, running about 11 minutes this afternoon. The WTMJ 5-day forecast, cold, windy today. Wind chills 10 to 20 degrees, a high of only 34. Clear and cold tonight, a low of 19. Sun and clouds tomorrow, a high 36. Then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have partly to mostly cloudy skies. Highs in the mid-40s. Chance of showers on Friday. Right now in Madison, 25 degrees, Green Bay at 28, and Milwaukee, 30 degrees. I'm Connie Weber. Sighting Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:07.
Jeff Wagner's 25-year career at WTMJ comes to an end. For the rest of the year, dive back in the archives with us as we bring you the best of Jeff Wagner throughout his career. You're listening to the Best of Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
It's at 10 o'clock this morning. The district attorney announcing a decision that I don't think surprised anybody, that there would not be criminal charges issued against former Milwaukee police officer Christopher Manny in connection with the death of Dontre Hamilton. I understand it's not going to make everybody happy, but what Chisholm did, and I've been a critic of his, issued a lengthy report explaining why he did not believe there was a basis for issuing criminal charges. Now, that's not to say that he thought that everything was necessarily appropriate. It's not to say that if there's not a civil lawsuit that there might not be people who find that Officer Manny behaved badly. But it is to say that the district attorney concluded that he didn't believe he had a basis for proving guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Reading this report, I think it is very clear to me, based on my experience, that that's really the only conclusion he could have come to. I understand that doesn't make people happy, but when we talk about justice, justice isn't issuing charges against someone. Justice is doing what the law says is right. A lot of the people who are unhappy with this, they say they want justice. I'm not sure. They don't want justice. They want charges issued. They want a conviction issued. I understand that. If that was my brother who lost his life, I would be extremely unhappy as well. But sometimes bringing charges isn't justice. Mike in Bayside. Mike, thanks for waiting so long. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I think these so-called protesters are behaving in a total emotional and illogical manner, because if the police were truly these unaccountable killing machines they described them to be, then the police would not be marching in front of them, blocking off the roads for them, protecting their rights. The police would say, "You're talking about us like this? Watch what we're going to do to you." These people are foolish. They do not see reality in front of them.
Yeah, I think it was. Let me just say, I think it was unfortunate that during that press conference, police were referred to by at least one of the speakers and by some of the crowd. It was hearkening back to the '60s, the pigs and things like that. That does not advance the dialogue, and right. I understand people are unhappy, but that was unfortunate.
Right. In the '60s, there's a clear contrast between the police behavior. In the '60s, it was the police hitting them with water cannons and unleashing dogs on them. Now the police are protecting them quite literally, and these people clearly don't have permits to go wherever they want, but they're still accommodating them anyway to avoid violence and loss of property and bloodshed. So these people don't have a leg to stand on, and they hurt their cause with every action they take.
Thanks. Well, I do agree that, for example, what happened on Friday was just a very unfortunate thing. And if the idea is you're going to try to win hearts and minds, blocking freeways, for example, is not the way it's just not the way to do it. And I understand there's a lot of emotions that are going on here. I also understand that there's some people who have their own agendas independent of the underlying case who will have no trouble trying to use these situations to try to advance it. But you look at the facts, and again, if you just want to focus exclusively on was there a basis to issue criminal charges, You look at what the district attorney had in front of him, and I'm not a fan of John Chisholm, but I understand why he came to the conclusion that he did. Derek in South Milwaukee. Derek, you're on 620 WTMJ. Good afternoon. Derek? Okay, let's try Bob in Sheboygan. Bob, you're on 620 WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hello, Jeff.
Hi, Bob.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I feel so bad for the officers in Milwaukee because they're being so misrepresented by this group. And when you talk about one of the things they wanted indictments, they want charges. You forgot one thing. One big thing they want is a pocket of money, and that's especially Attorney Safran. And I'm sure that there's genuine emotional attachment with the family of Dontre Hamilton. But the fact is, a lot of this rhetoric is being ramped up, I think, to the objective of getting money.
Well, there will. I would be. I'm willing to bet all the money in my wallet versus all the money in your wallet that there will, regardless of how any criminal investigation on the federal level ends up, and I think it'll end up with no charges. There will be a civil lawsuit. There's no question about it, where there's a different standard of proof brought probably against the officer and against the police department and against lots of other people as well, potentially.
You bet there will, and the Milwaukee Police Department has done an outstanding job of trying to reach out and protect all the citizens in the black community. And Chris Amnesty and the head of the NAACP and Jonathan Safran, if they truly believe that black lives matter, and they do, they should line up and kiss Ed Flynn on the lips, because he and his police department has done more for that community. And I've never once heard any of the three groups that I just mentioned stand up and express their outrage at, for example, the death of that young girl on her grandfather's lap.
Well, I mean, it is, which was weeks and weeks ago, first week in November, and we're now almost at the end of the year, and still no charges because people in the community who know who killed Layla Peterson have not been willing to come forward and present enough evidence to give the authorities a case. It is. Look, and I understand a degree of outrage. I get it.
This is WTMJ's Sandy Max with a brand new show called What's on Tap. Weeknights at 6, you're invited to join me to take a deeper dive into culture and creativity here in Wisconsin and around the world. Tap into all kinds of entertainment and recreation with me, from music, theater, film, food, and uniquely Wisconsin traditions and landmarks. So pique your curiosity and join me for What's on Tap. And be sure to catch the podcast on your favorite podcast platform.
Home is where the heart is. Family meals, laughter, and warm memories. As your local contractor that's been around for 40 years, J&J Contractors has been helping families create new memories for generations to come by reimagining your kitchen space for baking holiday cookies with the family or opening up your lower level for friend and neighbor entertainment. Whatever the project is, J&J Contractors does it with top-of-the-line craftsmanship. Just Google J&J Contractors to see their reviews for impeccable work and outstanding communication.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Chief Market Watcher Brian Wickert here to report mortgage rates continue their downward trend. Low overhead Accunet can now deliver a 6.89% APR on a $225,000 30-year fixed rate loan with 25% down, top-notch credit, and all the other right stuff. Our special 30-year fixed rate money for first-time Wisconsin homebuyers is now down to 6.125% with an APR as low as 6.29 and as little as 3% down. Household income limits apply. Now, a lot of homebuyers hit pause during the holiday season, but may be missing out. We just helped one of our rock-solid pre-approved first-time buyers get an accepted offer $49,000 under the asking price and lock in some of that special 30-year fixed money at a 6.19 APR. Household income limits apply. With rates back down, home shoppers are going to be coming out of the woodwork in the new year. So whether you're just starting your home search or you're ready to get back at it, go with the local mortgage experts at Accunet and get ahead of the pack by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
There's an inviting holiday chill waiting for you at your local Merle Norman. Our holiday 2023 color collection is available now, featuring a gift-worthy opalized palette filled with 9 limited edition soft touch shadows. Pair your palette with 3 shades of crisp candy cane scented tinted lip balm, including neutral cashmere cream, a dimensional plum shimmer, and red sangria cream. Shop all holiday limited editions while supplies last at Merle Norman Cosmetics Salon and Spa at Brookfield Square.
Again, if this was a family member of mine, I would be I would be unhappy. I would be outraged. I'd be looking to lash out. I understand that. That's why sometimes cooler heads have to prevail in matters like this, because if people get too close to the situation, they just lose sight of things. But yeah, I do admit that one of the frustrations I've had by this whole discussion is, on any given day, you can listen to our newscasts or watch today's TMJ4 or go online and check out Journal Sentinel online, and you will see stories of shootings in heavily minority areas of this city, and you don't get the same outrage. I don't see people storming Grand Avenue to protest, shootings in the communities. And I understand this is different, but at the same time, all lives should, in fact, matter. Let's talk to Chris in South Milwaukee. Chris, you're on 620 WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Hey, Jeff. I definitely agree with the decision. And, when I listened to District Attorney Chisholm's speech this morning, and the fact that there was DNA on the baton and stuff like that, and you look at all these facts and you don't see a case against him, and I think when people talk about the 14 shots being a problem, I kind of liken it to when I went to boot camp for the Navy, and it was the first time I'd ever fired a gun. And even though we were given, real verbal, real clear instructions and everything, after that 5 minutes, you literally don't know how many shots you fired because your blood is just pumping so hard that you don't even really think. You just focus on the target. And I think
that's pretty much what he did. I think he fired all the shots in his clip. That's what he did. The struggle had escalated. He was being charged. The guy had his baton. He just pulled out his gun and he pulled the trigger as many times as he possibly could. That's I think what happened in that situation.
Absolutely, and I think for people to second guess him, I think is really naive, especially if it's coming from someone who hasn't fired a gun. And the other point I would make is that I have family in Milwaukee law enforcement, and for them to be pulled away at this time of the year, at the holiday season, and John Chisholm not dealing with this 4 or 5 months ago, I just, that's my biggest beef with the whole thing is he had all the facts to line up his case. He should have made it to the public much, much sooner.
Yeah, thanks. I do think that is a fair criticism as to why did this take so long. Now, I understand that the district attorney decided he wanted to go outside. He wanted to get an outside expert to come in on the whole question of use of force. And that's fine. I have no issue with that at all. But I guess I don't understand why it took until I believe I saw that the outside expert on the use of force didn't even come to Milwaukee till mid-November. Now maybe it had been commissioned before that, but this happened back in April. If you know what you've got, and this was clearly a hot potato for a lot of different reasons, and you decide that you want to reach out and get an outside expert on use of force, which is perfectly fine, why did you delay so long in doing this? And I think that is a fair question, because I think by delaying this for as long as he did, he made matters a lot worse. Now, I'm not saying that there wouldn't have been a community reaction if, he had reached the same conclusion in 90 or 120 days. I think it's worse because he allowed it to go on and on and on and on. Let's talk to Dave in Chicago. Dave, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, Dave. You're on the air.
Oh, hi. I think there's way, way, way too much Monday morning quarterbacking going on in our society today. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I was telling your screener there, years ago, I got beat up really bad to the point of unconscious in a bar one time, so bad that I couldn't see out of my eyes for 2 days. And people were telling me, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. And, well, I'll tell you something. Until you've been in a situation, in a fight, a real life and death fight, now this person probably could have killed me if he would have wanted to, but he didn't.
Right.
Do you know who came and picked me up out of the bar? Was a policeman. Okay. And I'll tell you something. This is a dangerous road we're going down, and the black community too. And I think they're so wrapped up in the black community in the past, and believe me, my experience with officers is they're the thin blue line, literally. And when you take that away, you're going to end up with the United States Army on your block with two guys with MAC-10s and a Humvee.
Well,
That's where we're going.
Well, see, I mean, look, being a police officer is a difficult job, and there are bad cops, just like there are, you can find bad apples in every profession, and being a police officer is not unique from that. But at the same time, to me, and based on my experience in law enforcement, that's the extreme minority of cases. And no police officer, I've never met a police officer that wakes up on a given day and say, gee, I hope today is the day I get myself involved in a life and death struggle and shoot somebody. That's just not the way it works in the real world. And I think you raise an interesting point when it comes to the whole idea of the Monday morning quarterbacking. Now, in this particular situation, it was unfortunate. There's no question about it. But, you read the report and you can see how this quickly escalated. I mean, I'm looking at what the officer says here, and again, you can take it for a grain of salt, but one of the things that I'm struck by in going through this whole report is how consistent the versions are. This isn't, like I said, like George Zimmerman, Trayvon Martin, where people's accounts are all over the map. I mean, everybody pretty much, says they heard the same thing. So Officer Manny goes over there. He sees Dontre Hamilton lying on the ground, face up, eyes closed. What he does is he tries to, he says, look, I'm worried. He might be under the influence of drugs or alcohol. He might have had mental health issues. He goes up. He asks him to stand up and begin asking questions. Hamilton stands up, turns his back to Officer Manny, who then begins a pat-down. As he attempted to place his hands on Hamilton, Hamilton trapped Manny's hands between his arms and body. Now, this is what the officer says. Hamilton then twisted away from Manny, so he directly faced Manny and had his right hand balled in a fist. Officer Manny says he tried to disengage, told Hamilton it was not worth it. At that point, Hamilton lunged at him and tried to strike him with a fist. Officer Manny blocked the punch, struck Hamilton with an open palm to the chin. This had no immediate effect on Hamilton. Hamilton then grabbed Manny in the shoulder area, pulling him towards him, and struck him in the right head area. Manny felt he was losing control and decided to escalate to his intermediate weapon, a wooden baton. Manny says he chose the baton and not his pepper spray because the pepper spray was located on the right side of his belt, and he was using the right arm to protect himself from strikes. So all of a sudden, here's this officer. He doesn't know what he's dealing with, and suddenly you're in this life and death struggle with somebody for no apparent reasons. While doing so, he was issuing commands to Hamilton to stop resisting. Manny separated from Hamilton, removed his baton with his left hand, moved it to his right hand. When Hamilton continued to be aggressive, Manny struck him once in the rib area with the baton. Manny states that Hamilton trapped his baton between his arms and his torso, spun away from Manny, and then grabbed the baton. And so then it just continues to escalate. But all of a sudden, you have what is this routine police contact that is suddenly escalated into a life and death struggle. And it's tough to go back and try to again, Monday morning quarterback, the officer's reaction. Let's go to Kurt in Brookfield. Kurt, you're on 620 WTMJ.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing that happened. But I would like to know, where has the family been for the last 3 years, supposedly, that he's been homeless and with mental issues? Where have they been, the family and so-called friends of this Dontre Hamilton?
Thanks for calling. I don't want to go too far down that route because my understanding is that I don't believe he was homeless and that the family had been doing what they could to try to get him mental health treatment. This is part of the larger issue that's out there as well. We do a lousy job in this city, in this state, and in this country of dealing with people who are mentally ill. And I've said this before because, you have a lot of, the standard, it is so very difficult to involuntarily commit somebody. And I'm not saying that Dontre Hamilton's, his mental status even rose to that level, but it is a challenge. And that's why a lot of times, I do think if there's a silver lining to this very, very bad incident, one of the good things to come out of this is the fact that you now have, added training for police officers to deal with people who are mentally ill. Because how many times do we have stories like this, and it turns out that, the confrontation, it was with somebody who did have a mental illness that caused them to react in a way that somebody who wasn't suffering from a mental illness wouldn't have. I'm sure this officer was just absolutely stunned that all of a sudden you have this routine thing, you're patting down somebody, and all of a sudden you're in this life or death struggle with someone, because this goes from 0 to 60 in like nothing.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 1. Creative Planning is a wealth management firm that believes in a total approach to building wealth that includes taxes, insurance, estate planning, and other personalized elements. This approach allows you to receive advice that is aligned with your unique goals and always in your best interests. Why not give your wealth a second look? Visit creativeplanning.com.
Buying a diamond here just got a lot easier and a lot less expensive. Just in time for the holidays, Diamonds Direct has arrived. Now open on Mayfair Road in front of Mayfair Mall. This is the game-changing concept that's sweeping across America with the largest selection of rare, precious diamonds, up to 30 times ordinary jewelry stores, from 1 carat to 20 carat diamonds, not on a computer screen, but actually in stock every day. Started by former diamond wholesalers, Diamonds Direct has diamond cutters around the world and tremendous buying power, delivering exceptional value in a world-class, luxurious new showroom. This is no ordinary jewelry store. It's a diamond powerhouse, a true direct diamond importer that will forever change how people in Milwaukee buy diamonds and fine jewelry. We've needed a place like this for years. Now it's here. The all-new Diamonds Direct. Unmatched selection, uncompromising quality, and unbeatable value. Come celebrate with special savings now. The all-new Diamonds Direct on Mayfair Road in front of Mayfair Mall. Get details and learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
It costs individuals nothing to receive help from Great Lakes Adult and Teen Challenge. They're celebrating 40 years of bringing hope and second chances to those with addiction. Great Lakes Adult and Teen Challenge operates solely on private donations. Cars, boats, motorcycles, and real estate have helped many through the vehicle donation program. Find out how you can donate and help a young person in desperate need. Call Great Lakes Adult and Teen Challenge, 414-748-HOPE. That's 414-748-HOPE.
Hey, Fleet Rewards members! Save 12% now through the 24th at Fleet Farm. No rebates, no waiting, no mail-in forms or receipts. The added 12% savings coupon is for all members in-store and online. Not a member? Sign up in minutes to get your additional savings now. Forget the stamps or waiting for rebates. Save 12% during Fleet Rewards Appreciation Days. And thanks for shopping Fleet Farm. Some restrictions apply.
Have them hold the tea time. I'll be right with you guys. I gotta do something here. I don't have a script. I guess I'll just wing it. Hi, Jeff Wagner. This is Jonathan Green, formerly of The Greenhouse, there on WTMJ. I retired a lot of years ago. And let me tell you, retirement is tough. I heard that you were going to retire. I advise against it. I suggest you work for 15 or so more years and then maybe consider retiring. It's so tough out here. But if you don't take my advice and you do decide to retire, I wish you well. It's been great knowing you and it was great working with you. And it's also just great being here on the radio once again. So long, buddy. How's that without a script? Okay, guys, start the golf cart. I'm done.
So today, if you have Netflix, there's a new Netflix comedy it dropped today. It's a 10-part comedy, and it's called Blockbuster. And there's at one point in time, for Blockbuster, there were thousands of Blockbuster videos all across the country. There were a number of them in around here. And if you are of a certain age, you can remember the big deal about Blockbuster. The movies would come out like on a Thursday or Friday, and people would flock to Blockbuster to rent movies. And you'd physically get the movie, and you'd be going up and down the aisles, and you'd be getting, okay, these are the new releases, and you'd grab them, and then you'd go home and you'd pop the thing in your VCR, and you'd watch the movie and things like that, and then you'd have to return it. And remember, they'd say things like "be kind," rewind, and all that. So Blockbuster was the big deal. Now there is only one Blockbuster that's left in the country, and that is in Bend, Oregon. It's the only Blockbuster that's left. So this show that's on Netflix is called Blockbuster, and it's based on this one blockbuster that's left in Oregon. Now, it's not set in Oregon; it's apparently set in Michigan. But this is the premise, that this is the last blockbuster that's there, and it's supposed to be a comedy, sort of akin to the Office. I don't know if it's any good. Haven't watched it. I'm going to probably, if I get some time tonight, I'll probably watch a couple of the episodes to see if it's good. Some of the reviews are kind of so-so. They say it's not that great, but I don't know. I don't trust reviews and stuff. But I was thinking about this because to me, it is such an interesting concept because, look, I appreciate that if you are of a certain age, when I talk about this blockbuster experience, you have no clue about what I'm talking. What is this blockbuster thing? I mean, why would you go to You mean you'd actually have to physically go and rent a tape? And then you'd have to bring it home and you'd have to rewind it. And you'd have to put it in your machine and then you'd have to watch it. And then you'd have to take it out of the machine and you'd have to drive back to Blockbuster and you'd have to put it in this slot that they have. You got to be kidding me. You didn't really have to do that. Well, yeah, I mean, that's it. In the era before Al Gore invented the internet and you had streaming and things like that. Yeah, that's what you had to do. You had to go down to Blockbuster and actually get this. Now, nowadays, I understand people don't do that. We all have streaming services, or most of us have streaming services, and the deal is, you go on, you say, okay, well, let's see, what movies do they have on Netflix or Peacock or Apple TV or whatever. And here I'm just gonna hit a couple buttons, and now the movie's gonna start, and you're gonna watch it. So I understand this idea of going and actually, physically picking this up and bringing it back. I understand that that's kind of, sort of like horse and buggy type of stuff. But at the same time, Blockbuster Video, it was cool. And it was, at least I think it was, and it was revolutionary in its day because in those days before streaming and things like this was the way that you could get movies that you wanted to see, movies that maybe you'd missed in the theaters or whatever, and actually take them home and not have to wait until, okay, on Sunday night, ABC is going to show, this particular movie with commercial. Okay, in honor of the fact that this new comedy is dropping on Netflix today, set in the last remaining blockbuster. I mean, look, I understand it's one of those things where just technology has passed it by. But I admit, I just used to love the Blockbuster experience, especially as somebody who loves movies, just walking up and down the aisle back in the day, and it was just so amazing. I mean, nowadays, I get it. You go on Netflix or you go on Google search and you say, okay, this is the movie I want to see. Where is it streaming? And then you figure out if you've got that streaming service and you just go do it. So there's no need for it anymore. But in its day, Blockbuster, I thought, was just absolutely exceptional.
Hi, folks. This is Hank Albert, owner of BBC Lighting. Now that we're into the holiday season, it's time to celebrate with new lights and ceiling fans. And our huge award-winning showroom displays hundreds of the best quality lights and fans. There's not a brand we can't get, and our prices are the lowest, even lower than online. I guarantee it. And our knowledgeable staff is always here to assist you in making the right choices. If it's lampshades or repairs you need, we do all that too. There's something for everyone at BBC, including antiques, collectibles, fun for the kids, and our famous free popcorn. We are open Monday through Saturday and located at 20th and St. Paul Avenue, across from Sobelman's and Bachman Furniture, all near the Potawatomi Casino. Stay safe and healthy, my friends.
Hi, it's Samantha, and I'm here spreading cheer with Heiser's Holiday Happenings. Get incredible deals on our new and used vehicles, discounts on our service parts and accessories. We also have in-store holiday cheer, and we have events. Plus, special bonuses and giveaways. There are new sets of offers each week, so make sure you visit Heiser.com for all of the details. And hurry in, because offers end December 31st. At Heiser, today's your day.
See dealer for complete details.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Nagging pain lasting for months, difficulty performing everyday tasks, not moving like you'd like? It's time to see the doctor. And I recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Anytime I've needed care, the appointments are timely, no waiting weeks to be seen, and no pressure to have surgery. It's about getting the right diagnosis and choosing a treatment plan that fits your life. No question where I turn if I'm injured again. The experts in care at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's orthowisconsin.com.
You're listening to our celebration of Jeff Wagner's 25-year career at WTMJ.
Senator Ron Johnson here. Congratulations to Jeff Wagner for 25 years at WTMJ Radio, informing the public and telling the truth. Jeff's unwavering commitment to conservative principles and his ability to effectively convey them has had a big and lasting impact. I certainly wish you all the best in your well-deserved retirement, Jeff. Your voice will be missed.
See, I was just thinking, because when I started doing the show full-time on WTMJ 25 years ago this week, I mean, Blockbuster was still this really, really big thing. At its height, there were over 9,000 Blockbusters, over 9,000. Then what happened is the corporation closed all their corporate stores in early 2014. There were about 50 remaining franchise stores. And in July of 2018, there became one. There's one Blockbuster store left. It's in Bend, Oregon. And what got me thinking about this is that there's a comedy that they call Blockbuster, which is based on, it's not set in Bend, Oregon, but it's set in fictionally the last Blockbuster that's dropping on Netflix today. I don't know if it's good or not, but I kept thinking about what a big deal Blockbuster was. Jeff, it was the best babysitter before video games. Jeff, it was fun and easy to go out and rent movies, but it honestly seemed like a chore to return them. Jeff, many times the new releases were gone. They only carried so many copies. Yeah, that was the deal. You had to either make arrangements and get there, or some places would let you reserve them. Jeff, I absolutely miss the old video stores like Blockbuster. It was an exciting time in my younger years. I honestly prefer the store to the streaming. That's it. Jeff, be kind and rewind. I still have my Blockbuster rental card somewhere. You've got that. Jeff, Blockbuster was so big back in my day, it had its own saying. If you were a bar hopper, you decided not to go out, you would tell your buddies, sorry, it's a Blockbuster night. Jeff, I loved Blockbuster. It was fun taking my family and picking out movies for the whole weekend. It also made you get off your butt and go out and do something. Jeff, I miss it. Blockbuster came about when my kids were little. It was like a big family event for us to go to Blockbuster, grab some carry-out, and then have movie night on Fridays. Both of our kids loved it as well as my husband and I. There was something for everyone, and it does bring back happy memories. Let's talk to Rick in Illinois. Rick, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jeff. Blockbuster, great memories. Like going on Friday night with my wife to go pick out movies, and you'd look at all the boxes and read what the movies were about. That's so fun.
Oh yeah, it was just no. Thanks for calling. I'm sorry, your cell phone's a little bit tinny, but yeah, it was great. It was again. These were like date nights. One of our texters says, Jeff, when I was in high school, we rented movies all the time. It was a heck of an excuse to sit on the couch next to your girlfriend. Well, yeah, there was that.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Chief Market Watcher Brian Wickert here to report mortgage rates continue their downward trend. Low overhead AccuNet can now deliver a 6.89% APR on a $225,000 30-year fixed-rate loan with 25% down, top-notch credit, and all the other right stuff. Our special 30-year fixed-rate money for first-time Wisconsin homebuyers is now down to 6.125% with an APR as low as 6.29 and as little as 3% down. Household income limits apply. Now, a lot of home buyers hit pause during the holiday season, but may be missing out. We just helped one of our rock-solid pre-approved first-time buyers get an accepted offer $49,000 under the asking price and lock in some of that special 30-year fixed money at a 6.19 APR. Household income limits apply. With rates back down, home shoppers are going to be coming out of the woodwork in the new year. So whether you're just starting your home search or you're ready to get back at it, go with the local mortgage experts at AccuNet and get ahead of the pack by clicking on the blue button today at AccuNet.com. That's AccuNet.com.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave. Don't treat yourself like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Stop in at Ken Michaels Furniture for our year-end clearance sale. Shop discounts up to 50% off.
Hey, Christmas is next Monday. Still shopping? WTMJ's John Mercure here. A gift card from the amazing Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford and Oshkosh are wonderful holiday gifts as everyone loves a delicious meal. The Mine Shaft has been the most affordable, family-friendly restaurant in the area for over 46 years. Check this out. Buy a $100 gift card, get a $20 gift card for free. Buy $250, get $50 free. Buy $500, get a $125 gift card deal this week. Gift cards are perfect for your loyal employees and clients. Your company will save hundreds of dollars. It's easy. Order online at mineshaft.restaurant.com. And breakfast start at just $7.99. Monday and Thursday, buy one pizza, get one free. Wednesday and Friday, the all-you-can-eat fish fry is under $10. Desserts are buy one, get one free. Visit this week for a super affordable meal. Order your holiday gift cards today with your free bonus cards at mineshaft.restaurant.com. It's the amazing Mine Shaft.
Jeff, I remember trying to score any Alfred Hitchcock movie on a Saturday. Well, that was the thing. If you're a movie buff, and nowadays I get it. If you didn't grow up before video stores and VCRs and things like that, it's like you don't get it. But it was at the time before Blockbusters. You were at the mercy of what was at the movie theaters or, what that they would show on TV. So that was exactly it. If you said, hey, it's Halloween and I want to see a bunch of scary movies or something like that, well, you didn't have those choices. Now you could go to Blockbuster and you could, grab these. Jeff, I loved going to video stores. We had a family video by us that just recently closed a couple of years ago, and I was so upset. It was so much fun to go and look at the movies, buy the popcorn, all the candy and the stuff you probably shouldn't be buying, but you do it anyways. People nowadays want everything at their fingertips. Well, I mean, look, I'm not being critical of it. The convenience is just a huge factor, and the breadth of stuff. It's like I was talking about earlier this week, I think, when it's a challenge that bookstores have. I found an obscure book that I wanted to buy from like 40 years ago. I go on Amazon and they deliver it that day to my house. You could go to the bookstore and they're not going to have it in stock, and it's going to take a week to get it. No, Blockbuster. The technology has surpassed it, but it doesn't mean it's not fun. Jeff, Blockbuster was my daughter's first job when she was 16. She became best friends with the manager who was a few years older. They were in each other's weddings later on. I love to read the movie jackets. It really helps determine if it was something that I wanted to watch or not. Jeff, I loved going to the video store and arguing with my girlfriend about what movie to rent. Yeah, well, I tried to do that with my wife, and I pretty much always lost. I pretty much always lost. Jeff, I thought it was always so exciting to take the kids on Friday night and go to Blockbuster, picking out movies for the entire weekend. It made watching TV a little bit more of a special thing rather than just turning it on. We also used to let the kids pick out a snack like Milk Duds or something like that, or Dots that was in the big box, just like you were in a movie theater. That is, of course, very cool. Jeff, we used to go to Paradise Video on North Water Street. Yeah, there were some other, other video stores that were out there, but of course, Blockbuster was the big one. Brett, you're on WTMJ. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
This is the ultimate irony.
back when Blockbuster was 9,000 stores strong, they passed, I think, 3 times on buying Netflix when it was in its infancy.
Yeah.
4 pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
They thought, wait, we're brick and mortar. People like watching movies on their phones, on their laptops without a CD or a tape. That'll never fly.
Yeah. It was right. They just never saw that coming. Yeah, you're right. They had the opportunity to own the streaming services as well, and just didn't have the vision to do that. Yep, missed that
one more
chance.
Quick one.
Yeah.
Do you know what company actually invented the digital camera?
I do not.
A couple guys in Kodak.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Same story. They brought it to the powers that be. Said, look at this. You won't need film. They're like, yeah, but we make film. We'll pass on that.
Yeah. Thanks for the call. Okay, this is. I'm swamped with texts. I really do appreciate all the texts that people send. Somebody just sent me their Blockbuster Video membership card. The note is still have the card. Now, what I think is interesting is that they've been gone forever. You still got the card, and you knew where it was. So in the space of the 10 minutes we've been having this conversation, you could find it, take a picture of it, and send it to me via text. Jeff, I prefer the current format. It was ideal for the times. With technology, it's changed how we do things. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm not condemning the streaming stuff, and I love having this universe of, oh gosh, I haven't seen that movie in ages, or that sounds like something interesting, and then being able to say, oh, well, it's on Amazon Prime, I can get it for free, and watching it. No, I love it, and so it's just like we would never go back to the age before Al Gore invented the internet, but it wasn't really that long ago that Blockbuster was the hip and happening place.
There's no better green and gold insider than the man who wore the green and gold himself, Mark Tauscher.
Your back's against the wall and you had a tough couple weeks. That focus and everything just is always kind of heightened. Sometimes, especially when you haven't been through and handled a ton of success, it can be a little bit of a struggle.
Mark Tauscher is our green and gold insider every Wednesday at 4:15 on Wisconsin's Afternoon News, presented by your Wisconsin Chevy dealers.
So I came to Advent because I was experiencing recurrent sinus infections. As a new mom, it was really kind of difficult.
Many of our patients complain of sinus infections. The headaches, fatigue, and nasal stuffiness have a profound effect on their lives.
I just felt like your sickness starts affecting your energy level and, the things that you really enjoy doing. That really was a breaking point for me.
So Molly came to Advent. Abnormally tight sinuses and swollen turbinates led to simple breathing triangle solutions that ended up taking about 20 minutes in office. And very soon thereafter, she was breathing freely.
I'm just in awe at the amount of air that that I'm able to breathe in and out each night, and I haven't had a sinus infection since the procedure.
I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. When you breathe well, you do live better.
Results may vary.
We wish we could send you a Christmas card this year, but truth is, we've been pretty busy. So have you.
It seems to happen at this time every year, now even more so than Christmas is past. And as we become more and more distracted, the busier and busier we get.
So here's our Christmas wish for you. Stop. Take a breath. Look around you. See all the pretty lights?
Look up. See the stars that guided the wise men?
Look at your loved ones. Aren't they something?
We get so wrapped up in the noise, we forget that Christmas is all about peace.
It's so easy to get lost in the holiday hullabaloo.
So please, every now and then, just stop.
Breathe.
Smile.
Pray.
And remember why we celebrate this season.
That's our Christmas card to you.
Merry Christmas from our family at Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Oh yeah, and Happy New Year too.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. A 25-year radio career coming to an end. You're listening to the best of Jeff Wagner on WTMJ.
Good afternoon, Wisconsin. Welcome to the show. My first opportunity to discuss what is going on in Kenosha and in Madison and in other places across the country as a result of what happened on Sunday, the shooting of Jacob Blake. All right, if I had to summarize it at the beginning, here is the deal. All right, what is happening now does not help. What is happening now does not help. Now, I think that there are a lot of questions that can fairly be asked about the incident and what caused a police officer to fire into this man's back on multiple occasions. All right? Just like the George Floyd situation resulted in charges. I don't want to prejudge this, but it is very difficult for me to understand how that encounter could have risen to the level to give a police officer the justification for shooting somebody in the back on multiple occasions. And I think I am confident that people will be held accountable. Now,